Everybody talking like they know the struggle, but they don't know the line or the hunger or the hustle. So, super panel, let's go. Mama got dreams, but the car run low. Trying to feed the fam, keeping faith on go. They judge from the screen, never seen that pain. When the fridge look empty, but you smile through the rain. Ain't nobody wanna live off shame. They just trying to play the system in a broken game. From the block to the store, it's survival mode. Same story, new face, same heavy load. We in the food stand wars, yeah. Fighting just to eat, can't ignore ya. Yeah. Politicians talk, but they don't see scars. Till we rise, untouchable stars. Don't call it lazy when the system's tight. Don't call it free when you pay with your life. It's pride, it's pain, it's the human cost. Some win, some lose, but nobody lost.
Super panel line, truth in motion.
Talk real life, not just emotion.
Untouchable empire, we break the silence.
Feeding souls, not just a fire.
The content presented on the following show is intended for satirical and educational purposes only. The views, opinions, and statements expressed by panelists and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the host, production team, or channel. Additionally, any third-party content featured in this program is used in compliance with fair use under United States copyright law, which allows for commentary, criticism, news report, teaching, and research. Viewer discretion is advised, and we encourage independent thought and discussion.
Welcome to the Untouchable Super Panel with Ilkan, Ali, and Fatty. Kick back, relax, and enjoy the show.
What you're seeing right now with the men is a response to your radicalization. So to try to project that onto us is absolutely ridiculous. And the men are not behaving the way they're behaving right now because they can't keep up. They're behaving the way they're behaving because you broke the social contract.
You're having a conversation in bad faith. Did you say women are children? Did you say women are children? No.
Look at the construction industry, it's 99%, 98% men. But when you're talking about cooking, right, the reason, and by the way, it wasn't mostly women who did cooking, it was just mostly women who stayed at home who did cooking. That's why it's considered a traditional family role. It's part of the whole child rearing aspect.
So you know that you're here because of your father? Because men determine the sex of the baby? Did you know that?
Can we just say, if we're doing men versus women, like, women have infinitely more options. If you download a dating app, like, even grandmas get like thousands of matches.
Right.
And I understand that, like, sexual attention isn't the same as relationship attention, but out of 1,000, one will take her seriously.
You wasn't putting it down mentally. You don't know how to touch her without touching her. You wasn't putting it down sexually, and you wasn't putting it down financially. So yes. But these women literally get to walk out the house looking like it's Halloween every day, but want to look down on you and tell you how you look. Bitch, I look like my 8th grade picture. You don't look like your 8th day old picture. You go on a lot of these women's Instagram pages, it look like 30 different on there. Somebody tell me I'm lying.
It's not that she's so awesome and intelligent and everybody missed out and you just so happen to walk up on a flower. Yeah. She's lying to you.
Right.
But these women saw you. When these women saw you, she already wanted you before you even open your mouth. Like Ali said, you didn't convince her to nothing. There's the male ego.
Got Untouchable Empire, baby.
It's time to do.
friends, welcome to another edition of the Super Panel. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you guys are feeling well. It's going to be a fun one. Friends, before we go, Sunday, we have the ladies' first show. We're going to talk about dress code. Tiana Taylor and Sydney Sweeney are making the headlines about the way they dress for the red carpet. So we're going to talk about women and the way they dress. Are we being unfair? Are men lustful or women are provoking their lust? We're going to have a full-blown conversation about that. So join us on the ladies first Sunday show. But today we are talking about food stamps. But before we go there, let me introduce, of course, our guests. We have in the building the one and only, back from Europe, international, jet flying, and everything that Ric Flair used to say. John Henry is in the building. Thank you very much, John, for being here. Thank you. We have the one and only store owner, philanthropist. No, I don't know if he's a. I don't know. Shout out to my wife, Sean and Tony.
What's up, y'all?
Appreciate you. Thank you very much for being here. Tom Foolery exposed last show, but he's back here. Like the last show, people exposed Tom Foolery as a member of that band that I don't know what the name, but the Dum Blue da do dee da da da. He's back. I don't know if we cause problems to Tom, but thank you very much, Tom Foolery, for being here. Salute to you, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You have no idea what I'm talking. Hey, Tom, don't let me pull my files, Tom. Okay. I matter of fact, let me show your people. Tom, stop playing with us, Tom. We exposed you.
Oh, I'm blue. So
you are
yes, the Blue Man Group. Okay, I got you.
The only song where my accent doesn't interfere at all, and you still didn't understand what I said. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a fail.
That's crazy, Tom. That's some racist shit.
I will help you. It's probably the Ebonics is what it is. I can work with you off stream.
This is some xenophobic shit, Tom. That's crazy. Thank you very much, Tom. Once again for being here. We have a new friend, Paris. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much. We have a returning guest, the lovely Ariel. She's in the building. Hi, Ariel. Finally, we have Untouchable founding father. Went to the barber today, so he doesn't have an ad on. Weak beard on. Ilkan Ali. He is in the Boo Diesel.
In the Boo Diesel.
I am Fatty. Go subscribe to my OnlyFans. Aww. So now that we got this out of the way, friends, ladies first, even though today is not ladies first. Parish.
Yes.
First question of the show. Should food stamps be temporary boost or a permanent safety net?
When you say should, I kind of want to, are you saying I'm speaking for, you just want to know what I think everybody needs?
Yes, your opinion. If you want to, you can do the what they should be for and what they are in reality. You can do both. What they are for you, like you can go all over the place.
Well, the age that I grew up in, I was very young. I was born in 1971, so I was a little girl. I didn't know what was going on. But as I got older and I would hear the different discussions of how the dynamics of the family shifted dramatically when women decided that was the way to keep their families fed and stable when the men weren't in the home. And then I heard, mention of, oh, well, women had to because men were abusive or cheating and all of those things. But now we fast forward all of these years later, and it's just my opinion. I'm not against welfare and I'm not against women, but I couldn't fathom if I was there back then, I would be the woman that stood out and could see, like, wait a minute, like, I don't even trust the government. Now, I'm not going to let anybody beat me down, but if I had to choose to live by myself because my man is cheating and I don't know, or I mean, I don't think they were worried about diseases and things the way that they, promote that now, but still, for whatever reason, if I decided I didn't want to be with my husband, why would I trust the government that has everything set up against me to feed me and take me, take care of me and my family if I kick this man out? And so it just doesn't do the math for me. But, if we fast forward it and let some of those women know this is going to change everything, families are going to shift a lot when we start choosing governmental support and money over our men. There's not going to be any other men that care about Black women the way a Black man will, even if he is cheating or whatever it might be. There, we can't guarantee on anybody else except for our people to love us. This is not the best thing for our future. But since we have done that and life has evolved and it is what it is, my recommendation for any woman or man that's on is, like, unless you have like debilitating situation, if you have to use it, just like the medical system doesn't really have our best interests at heart, but it does serve the purpose of stabilizing you, but they're not going to take care of your health long term. I think that would be a more prudent way to utilize welfare, not to get comfortable with it and not tell yourself, I can't find a job or this is all I can do, because I've heard a lot of people who utilize it in really extreme circumstances as a tool, and it changed their life so that they weren't, down and out. So,
can I ask you a question real quick? If we allow all these companies and rich people to just not pay taxes, run away from every another way of paying back or putting money back in the system, when we called it loopholes, meaning they're not breaking the law, they're just taking advantage of the system, wouldn't that be the same thing that these people kind of are doing, but on more of a local base, like on a basic level? Like, why every time we say Donald Trump didn't pay taxes for 10 years or Elon Musk, whatever, and everybody's like, oh, but that's just the game. They know what they're doing, and and then when we come back to this situation, and again, I'm explaining something, doesn't mean that I agree with it. Like, wouldn't that be the same thing? Loopholes? Are these people committing crimes? Are these why is it morally wrong for these people to take advantage of the system while there's literally what is happening on the upper levels of society? And
well,
Ariel, you can go afterwards, and then the fellas can join in.
okay, brother, I want to answer your question, but I wanted to know, who are these people that you're talking about when you said take these people taking advantage of the system? Who?
So yeah, she didn't say anything about people taking advantage of the system.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question. I actually jumped to a conclusion. Do you believe that people that are perpetually on the subsidies and always getting food stamps, Section 8 and all, on perpetuity, they have second generation, third generation? Like, do you think these people are taking advantage of the system, or do you think that's just a part of the game?
Well, I'm not here to judge anyone, but I think I kind of ended my statement by touching on that when I said I don't think it was a good choice for us as melanated women when we decided that we would rather have that than a man in the home. But since it has been that way for decades now, and we can't make it go away, we made that decision. If you find yourself where your children do not have anything to eat, you do not have anything to eat, you have no money, like what happened to a lot of people during COVID, I was saying utilizing it as a tool for a time and empower yourself to get away from that, because the government is not set up to care and take care of families. So that's how
So what will be the opinion to people that don't follow your advice? Are they taking advantage of the system? Like the people that are in perpetuity on the welfare system, are they taking advantage of the system?
Okay, I don't want to mess up the show, but I mean, I know I'm new to it, but I'm a lover, not a fighter. I don't judge people. There's circumstances for everybody. And a long time ago, I was a Jehovah's Witness and I was more judgmental and I saw things black and white. but I don't see things that way. I don't think it's good for people to rely on a governmental system that comes from a government that doesn't care about their people. But if you got to do it in an emergency situation, I recommend doing it for a short period of time. I can't make anybody do anything like they can't make me do anything for a short period of time. I was on a governmental assistant for, I think it was a year and a half. And I didn't want to do it because I kept thinking, but I'm an entrepreneur. If I could just get some business cards and get my website going, I won't need to do this. And they were like, you're steadily struggling and you could get food, you could get more money to do things. I'm like, but I think that's good for like a teenage mom that can't get a job or something. I'm a grown woman and I had a business before and my pride wouldn't let me do that. So if somebody—
So Paris, can I stop you there for a second? You right now pass judgment. Just because, and it's fine, just because you don't say, it's like, for example, like when we say something without saying, if you are saying, I think this is good for a teenage mom, but for a grown woman that is an entrepreneur, you are actually passing judgment. Right. And it's fine. One second, please. It's fine. It's fine to have opinions. It's fine actually to have strong opinions. It's fine to judge and to make sure that you're looking around to your surroundings and making judgments every time, all the time, because the sleeping fish is the one that gets caught. Like, it's fine to pass judgment to people and to analyze what's going on and to analyze what people do. You might not put him on the cross. You see what I'm saying? You might not put him in jail. You might not demonize them, but it's fine to make an assessment and say, the guy that is sitting down asking for money, pretending he's a cripple, and then when night comes, he stands up and he walks, so his legs are working. That man shouldn't be asking for money. He should be like looking for a job. It's fine to pass judgment, right? Or we have a problem with that. And then let's get Ariel and Tom. Go ahead.
Okay, brother, you interrupted me. I was actually trying to wrap up. And
it's because you were going on. Now, 1 second. It was an interjection, not an interruption. If you want to, if I'm going on a monologue and you want to interject on something that I said, you can absolutely stop me. It's not an interruption, it's an interjection, so we can talk with each other instead of everybody does a monologue and we keep passing the potato to each other, okay? No disrespect whatsoever. Go ahead.
No, and I apologize. I'm new here.
No need to apologize. It's fine.
I've never seen the podcast before or anything, so I didn't know that was the flow. But what I did want to say was I was talking about where I was 27 years ago. So that's not what I think now. I was trying to tell you I was battling with that because I didn't want to utilize the system and take advantage of it if I could be a productive person and, utilize it. And I had clients that had to utilize those services because they were in really bad situations. So I kept telling myself, you don't deserve that kind of help. You could get your butt up and do something. I wasn't judging anybody. I was being harsh on myself is what I was trying to say.
But there's a judgment.
Yeah,
like you
yes, she's saying that was her old position,
no,
Patty.
Tom,
she's saying that's not her position today, though.
Tom, I'm
not saving her. You're misunderstanding.
Hey, 1 second. I'm not going to over pursue. But if I have a situation and you come to me and say, "Hey, Fatty, stop, please. Hey, stop, please, stop."
It's not an interruption. It's an interjection. You're misunderstanding what she's saying.
No, Tom, it's because you're actually trying to change it in a way that makes it. Listen to me carefully. After last show, Tom sent me a message and said, "Is it like these old bitches, bro? I don't get it. I'm sorry. Like, this shit scares me."
You made her leave, Fatty.
No, and Tom, and this is why you shouldn't jump in the motherfucking shit to try to save her. Because it's these sensitive people that been on this planet for 60 years can even have a back and forth. After the last show, Tom, you send me a message saying, "Hey, Fatty, your background is too loud. I can't help you with that." There's a judgment. You judge what you saw, and you're trying to offer correction. You're trying to help me. A judgment is not good or bad.
I know. I don't disagree with that part.
A judgment is just an adult making a decision or giving some advice or giving some type of prescription. It has nothing to do with being something bad. That's ridiculous.
I don't disagree with that. She was agreeing that that her past was her statements of her mind state from when she was younger.
Yeah, she doesn't make judgments anymore, Tom. She made judgments when she was 17. Now she's been on this planet for 60 years. She never made the judgment then until now, right?
Saying that No. Again, she's saying that she agrees that it was judgmental back then, but that today she doesn't hold that same position. Like she was like kind of avoiding giving like a straightforward answer, but
and
that
she
is
still
what she was
passes
saying.
judgment every day since the moment she
Yes,
wakes
of
up
course.
until the moment she goes to sleep. Just because you don't say I judge people doesn't mean that you actually don't do it. You do it all the time. Every time you go to the supermarket and somebody's acting funny or somebody stinks, you move away. That's a judgment. So
Yeah,
again,
of course, I agree with that
Tom,
part.
I actually appreciate you, but it is the fact that if you were on your panel and you're having a conversation with other people, you would know that this person is being completely disingenuous and running away because they don't want to give a concrete answer. So don't try to whitewash. I know he's in depthiness. Don't try to do that because again, you are giving him a justification to make me look like the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy. I'm just having a conversation. If you are on this planet for 60 years and you can show your titties on Instagram all day, you can have a conversation with a motherfucking stranger. I'm telling you, bro. This shit is crazy. Tom, please answer the second part, and Ariel then will pick it up. Oh, sorry, Ariel, and then Tom. I want Tom you to pick it up the second part about the subsidies from the rich and all that. Go ahead, Ariel. I apologize.
I think that food stamps should be a permanent safety net because it already is. Most, like how you're saying, like people are on there for years and years and years. And the way that the system is set up, people don't want to help themselves. That's why they stay on the food stamps because they can't help themselves in order to get food stamps. So I think that it should be a permanent safety net. I think that there should also be some type of forced work for people who are on food stamps. They can work for food if that's how we do that trade-off. And the other question was, that was it, right? I think so. You asked questions, Fatty.
No, it's fine. The second part of the question that she got a problem with because she said she didn't say that, but she kind of did. Like, what's the difference between a poor person taking benefits, taking from the government and getting food stamps, getting Section 8, getting all these things, and a government or a special interest, a company, a billionaire taking advantage of the loopholes that the government actually give them? What's the difference between both?
Oh, yeah, 100%. There is no difference. I think that there are privileges for that tax bracket. And then it's literally a privilege to be poor getting food stamps, right? So, like, there's privileges on both ends of that spectrum.
Tom?
I mean, the thing that I was like more annoyed by is when the way that she framed everything was that that you're taking money from the government, and it's not taking money from the government. It is your money. It is your money. You are putting money into this. You're getting that money back, and it is our money as the people. Like, we are just getting what it is that we put into it back for the things that we're paying for. The problem is that, like, the during the government shutdown, they're just kind of unnecessarily cutting SNAP benefits when there's already a contingency plan and funding that's already there just in case something like this ever happens. The Congress had already drawn up appropriations for a scenario like this, and the Trump administration decided to delete this out of the document and then pretend like it was never there. And about 20 minutes before we went live, the judges just ordered that they have to pay for the SNAP benefits because it was part of the contingency plan that already had funding for it. So it is.
Can I ask a question real quick? What if you don't put as much as you take? For example, we see, like, the same way we see all these poor people literally paying almost zero taxes and then getting a bunch of money on tax season, right? We see, for example, these billionaires firing millions of people at this point. Like now, at this point, is FedEx 400,000, 40,000, 100,000. Like, they are cutting costs, moving to AI. They are not actually building a strong economy. Everything is very speculation based. Everything is stock buybacks and like artificial ways of inflating the value of companies and all that. Like, what if you are a person that is getting more from the government than you are giving? Does that change your point of view, or you stick with it that is our money, we put in there the money there and then we get him the money back?
Yeah, it's still the same. We live in a society. If you end up making it big and becoming a billionaire, then you'll have to pay way more in than you'll ever get back. But like, there's most people will never get the amount that most people will get more than they will ever put in, especially if they make it to retirement age and get all of that as well. But like, it's just the same with us, driving on streets and, going in places that have food safety regulations where the government comes in and makes sure that they're not poisoning our food or have mold growing anywhere. The same that every building we go into has safety checks on it to make sure that it's not going to crumble or catch on fire or have electricity problems. Like, the government is everywhere in everything, putting money into all of it to make sure that our lives are benefited from these things and that we live in a first world society because of it. So
Sean and John Henry, same question first. People that are, yes, you're already shining, Sean, a lot. Should food stamps be a temporary boost or a permanent safety net? And actually, I want to go even further. Do you understand people that usually are on these programs like on a permanent basis, that there's anything that you can like look at it and explain why is this happening so much?
Well, why it's happening so much? People that are on it on a permanent basis are on it just because they can be. It really just kind of is what it is. If you think about it, right? If you look at the parallel to what you were alluded to in terms of people who find a way around the tax code, it's just you do it because you can do it. You do it because it benefits you in general. I'm not saying it's good or bad in general. I think, if it's fair to beat the tax code, why wouldn't it be fair to be in alignment with whatever you can get? So I think it should be something that's temporary, though. When I say temporary, I mean like say for instance you have a 6-month period where you can just receive the benefits, after which, during which you've gone through life skills training or job training or whatever the case may be. During that first part, during the second part, you should graduate to, you need some type of work requirement. So it should be a multi-tier. I feel like I got land on my head. It should be a multi-tier process, but in the beginning, it should be workforce training. Because if you think about it, just having a work requirement, it sounds like it's a great idea, but off the rip, when people apply, they don't have a job. So that work requirement means that those people who, if it's especially through no fault of their own, have no job, then yeah, they need the help right now. So you should triage that situation, and then you should train them and then implement the work requirement.
I mean, just to be clear, I believe that is the case. That most, I think the average amount of time that people are on welfare is an average of less than 2 years. And that once you get above a year, you have to be doing like jobs training. You have to be showing that you're filling out a certain amount of applications every year. I don't think there are people who are on like permanent.
Yeah,
that's why I like half of John. I mean Tom. Excuse me. I like Tom because people only says it's I say it's very ignorant rhetoric, whether it's racist ignorant or whether it's even whites doing to each other as well too. Because you first of all, 42% of families that are employed get SNAP. 43% of children get SNAP. 20% of the elderly or disabled get SNAP, and 10% of the population, the less get SNAP. But you have to be either working, training, or volunteering. And if you don't do those things, you'll get it for 3 months for every 3 years. And if you don't do that after that, you don't get SNAP at all. So it's just a rhetoric that's pushed on to make people look bad for getting SNAP. But you have to be working, training, or volunteering in order to get SNAP. So it's just ignorant rhetoric that people keep perpetuating to make people who aren't even making that much trying to work getting government assistance. But it's okay when other people, I think that's what Fatty was alluding to, that there's people who are rich and wealthy that can use corporate subsidies, but when we pay attention to the people who get welfare or SNAP, they're judged against them because we ignorantly perpetuate the same narrative that people have been saying for generations as well too. But this the strictest rule in this country. Is one of the strictest rules. You have to be working, volunteering, or in training to get SNAP. And you can get, and if you don't, again, only 3 months every 3 years. And if you don't meet that requirement, you can't get it at all.
Yeah, I don't like that. And Ali, to your point, 60% of the people are either children or elderly who receive it. Combined, 60%. You muted, Ali. You muted.
But we got to give credit to the people that's working too. 43% of the people are working. So if you bring in the 43% who work, 42, 75, that's 85, 95%. No. 80% of the 85% of the people are working, or children or elderly.
Yeah, and so that's my thing. You obviously have to have exemptions for the children and the elderly, of course. But then if you're talking about, let's just say that 40% that's left over that are like of working age, then that's where we need to have the conversation about what does that really look like.
No, it's not that high, Sean. It's not that high. It's 10% of the people we're talking about. But those people have to be be in training, volunteering, or anybody who getting snapped has to be in training or looking for work, Sean. So it's only 10. So 43% of the people already working. Excuse me, 42. 43% are children, and then 20% of the elderly. So it's not 43% of people that's on SNAP.
I'm gonna drop the
that's not working
to the FDA website where I got the data. But
okay.
So what it says on here, it says 38.9% are children, 19.5% are older adults, 60 plus. Which, to your point, some of those I'm sure are still working. That's 60 plus. And then it says non-elderly adults, 41.6. So let's just say if we just simply focus on that 41.6% that are non-elderly adults, I would say we need to get them trained. We need to support them, because I hate the term entitlement program, because they make it sound like it's a bad thing. This is some shit we paid into our whole lives. Anytime we worked, we paid into it, right? Directly paid into it, but then also it comes from our pool of taxes in general. So it's just I don't like how it's characterized as some lazy person's program. I hate that.
That's what I hate. That's all.
I was hoping that's
what
minority, friend.
Mm-hmm.
But is the minority of people that are on the subsidies?
Extreme 12% of people are on SNAP. I think it's 12.6% of people on SNAP.
No.
People.
No, I'm saying of the people that are on SNAP, like, right?
No.
Is the majority of them lazy and try to take advantage of the system?
No. And when there's come to fraudulent behavior, 1% of people are engaging in fraud when it comes to SNAP. So majority of people, it's a rhetoric to make people just look bad. Most people are not taking advantage of the system.
Here's the other thing, Ali, right? People always say they're taking the government's money. The government don't have no fucking money. The government has our money. That's the only way the government gets our money. So what the government does is they allocate our funds that we give them. Whether it's payroll taxes, whether it's corporate taxes, they just allocate our funds. It's not the government's fucking money.
Right.
And so for me personally, I am proud to pay into the social safety net from my businesses, from whenever I've had checks and things like that. I'm proud of that, because I understand I grew up with my mom getting food stamps. She had 4 boys by the time she was 22. So I was a food stamp baby. So I'm proud to pay into that shit. Yeah, you're gonna get, like you say, a very negligible amount of people who abuse the system, but most people really just need the shit. They need the help.
John, uninterrupted.
So like Sean said, there are people who actually need this, and we always seem, or let me take that back. There always seems to be the perpetual need to vilify everyone as being that small percentage of people who don't need to be on the system. That's generally what you will see. People say that welfare is not needed, food stamps not needed, and it's only a certain small amount that everyone focuses on that becomes the standard across the board. Me personally, I would say that food stamps need to be permanent for the folks who themselves are not able to sustain any type of employment. Let's say the elderly, the mentally handicapped, the physically handicapped. Now, these are the folks who should receive that if they are unable to do so themselves. Now, for the folks who are able-bodied, I believe that's what we're discussing right now. We're discussing the able-bodied individuals. That should be temporary. If you are able to get to the age of 21 and there's no mental, no physical incapacities, you can speak, you can see, you can walk, you can talk, or whatever, you are someone, if you end up being out of work, it should be a temporary process. Now, I was born in 1970. So I recall back in the day where I don't know if it still goes on or not, but I remember whereas a family or the head of the household of a household, the man who was out of work, he was given a certain amount of time that he had to be back on his feet and working. So let's say the first month or so, maybe 2 months, you'll get $850. And then after that, it'll go down to $700. Then the following month or two down the road, whatever's received will be $500. But during that time period where there was a reduction in funding, he should have been out there looking for work or training to move to something that would provide him work. But still, that's what I saw growing up. So as I say again right now, it should be permanent for those incapable of earning an income, and for those who have no physical, mental disabilities whatsoever, it should be temporary until they find employment once more. I'll land my plane there.
And we got to clarify that it is. If you're not in training, if you're not working, if you're not a volunteer for at least 80 hours a month, you lose it. It's gone. You can't get it. So most of those people are. That's why I'm still trying to figure out these people who are taking advantage of a system that won't let you take advantage of it. If you start playing those games, they'll get you off a snap. So again, people just be talking a lot of times. If they do that system is already in place, and the government's got way more strict on that. If you play with them, they're gonna get rid of you.
Ali, y'all ever thought about the fact that why don't they have employment pipelines? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Why don't they have employment pipelines? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like they should be aggregating all of the the qualified people and saying, you know what? All right, so we have relationships and pipelines with these different places, which I've built with mentoring programs I've had, homeless youth program I've had to build pipelines for people, reentry programs and things like that. So if I can do it, I know the fucking government can do it.
Well, that's what they're supposed to have workforce solutions for, right? Like, so when you get food stamps in Texas, I believe they have this thing called workforce solutions. So they immediately partner you with workforce solutions when you get food stamps. But I think that, like you're saying, it should be more concrete, like, because workforce is just like, here goes a list of jobs. Now you do the job search. But why not just allocate them to a job, get them into like a temp service or something like that, where they do get a permanent job. So they do start to get that leg up. And then that's where you see the disconnect, because the job market is kind of poop. So like you kind of end up
on purpose.
Right, exactly. Because the holidays are coming up and they firing people, but then you're gonna have to hire people again because Thanksgiving and Christmas is coming. So it's really crazy. But like just to have people get more solid jobs, because then they end up going to school, but then you're racking up debt in school, and then there's no promise of a job after that. And I kind of like feel like that's where Trump is trying to head to, with also like trying to make sure that America is creating things and making things and trying to bring back more factory jobs and that kind of thing so that Americans have work.
You disagree, John and John?
I saw John. Yeah, I saw John.
So this is not what that show is about. You know where I stand on this, Ellie. So I'm just simply going to put it this way. Reality is that work is there. It's just that people decide what they choose that they want to work for, because we can't sit here and say that there aren't jobs. There are jobs that are out there. The question is, what job does someone feel that, well, this is beneath me, as opposed of, okay, yes, this is what I work on. Now,
not only are there jobs, but we're in a labor shortage right now. We have been for about 5 years.
Can I finish before you jump in, Tom? If I could, give me a second. But that being the case, there are jobs that are available, but then again, there are jobs that no one works. And we always go back to the thing of migrant workers. If you see what's happening now, farmers losing their farms because the people who they depend upon are not here to do the work. And we know that blacks will not do the work as far as working in the fields, more or less pulling up potatoes, pulling up watermelons. Not saying that all, but they're the majority. Or let me even take the majority. You'll find that there are folks from each race who say, I'm not going to do this. There are folks who will do this. So therefore, the folks who will do that will be the ones that are relied on the most. I'll back down. You were saying, Tom?
We've been in a labor shortage for about 5 years. Ever since COVID started, we've been in a labor shortage. So I was just backing up what it is, what you were saying, just saying that there are jobs. Not only are there jobs, but we have more jobs currently than we have people that are available to work those jobs. 37% of job openings currently cannot fill those jobs with people who are looking for work. and it's been going on for about 5 years, is where we do not have enough people in the country to work the amount of job openings that we have. And so when you bring up what it is that Trump is doing, Trump is kind of moving us in the opposite direction, where not only are we going down in the amount of workers that we have while taking away visas, green cards, people who are here on any sort of immigrant status. But then on top of that, then they're talking about, oh, well, we need to bring in all of these other jobs. We don't need more jobs. We have too many jobs already. There's businesses that are going under because they can't sustain each and every single store anymore, because there's not enough people to run all of those stores. And so they're like, we need more people is what we need. That is the thing that we need. Millennials are not having babies. They're just not doing it. And they did not replace the workforce. And so if they're not having babies, even if we want to encourage people to have babies, it's going to be another 18 years before they can even work. So we still need people now to do the jobs that we currently have open.
Right. But if you're not paying people enough, if somebody got to go to work 2-3 jobs, if your degree ain't enough, two home income doesn't matter. If you know what, when I go to the grocery store, I with my woman, and we do pretty good. I'll be like, man, how are people survive? Like, I have no idea how people are able to afford to live, and then we're complaining about stamps or welfare when people who are working and going to college getting degrees, two house income can barely survive as well too. So we're not collectively addressing that, but I'm addressing somebody that may be getting stamps, or somebody I go, oh, they getting shrimp and crab legs, instead of addressing what the government is doing to a majority of people and majority of human beings in the United States that live in check to check.
Yeah, to an extent, there's also the fact that wages have outpaced inflation. So anytime there is a labor shortage, everybody raises their wages to get the few amount of people out there that are actually looking for a job. The wages become way more competitive. And so even during Biden's administration, where everybody was complaining about the amount of inflation that was happening, wages were outpacing inflation the entire time because of the labor shortage. So everybody just kept raising wages.
That's not true. Like, wages have not outpaced inflation, especially over the last 4 years. They have not.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, it has. Since 2019, real wages is what we call.
Somebody has an echo.
It's Fatty echoing. But yeah, real wages is what we call the wages compared to inflation. And so
you know what? Yeah, you're right about the real wages. About the real wages, yeah, you are right. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. You are right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Thomas correct. It says here also, yes, wages are currently outpacing inflation, but the cumulative effect of the high inflation period means many people have not fully regained lost purchasing power. But he is correct in that aspect.
Yeah, it's not across the board, it's averages. So some people in different industries are going to have a lot more trouble than others. Service industry are the ones who have had the biggest increase, while other people who are in construction are going contract work are going to have a little bit more trouble.
Folks, I noticed again, this is what they talk about trade. Who's got the echo?
You're still echoing, Fatty.
How am I?
All right, so okay.
Turn on your echo cancellation.
Echo. Okay, good now. So yeah, Fat, I think it was you, bro. All right, so as I was saying here, when we look at it from the standpoint, let's talk about what Tom was talking about, wages outpricing or outsourcing. Let's look at the skill set. Again, how often are we hearing people talk about, well, get you a skill set, plumbing, let's say construction, something with your hands. You still hear people make that statement. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that those jobs, depending on the market, it goes like this. Again, I've been IT for almost 20 some odd years. And since IT came into being a market that everyone goes into, I can say that I've never had to worry about hunger for the most part. Let's say that depending on when we talk about who's good, good means you have enough. Broke means you have just enough. Impoverished means you have nothing. So when you put it down to that perspective, what are we talking about when we say, what are the jobs that are able to sustain folks? You got to have some type of skill. Doesn't necessarily mean college works for you, which has for me, but also having a skill that you use your hands works as well. So the question is, when we look at these jobs out here, what are you skilled for? I landed right there. If you got something else to add to Ali.
Well, that is what I was meaning to say, is that skilled jobs are actually the ones that have not kept up with inflation as much. And so the people with college degrees are the ones who have had some of the biggest increases out of anybody. People with college degrees over time have the amount of money that they make with a degree, even with the narrative all the time that people are going to college and can't even find a job, or people are going to college and getting degrees that aren't even useful for anything, even with them included. On average, people who are going and getting college degrees are still making way more than everybody else. And especially in comparison to the amount that they pay for those college degrees, which is what a lot of people say is, oh, well, it's way too much, and the tuition and they still end up making an insane amount more on average, even just for a bachelor's degree. So I think for a bachelor's degree on average, they make over $1 million in a lifetime more than somebody with just a high school diploma. And so it's college degrees are really beneficial, but skilled labor has not had the rise in wages that we've needed to see, because we do need skilled labor. We still need plumbers and builders and everything.
Tom, you believe what you said about the about not having enough workers to fill the jobs? Because have you looked into like the ghost jobs and all these companies not backfilling a lot of jobs that they have open? Have you looked into that?
Yeah, I ran restaurants for a while. Yeah, I ran restaurants for a while, and we were having to shut down entire stores. And then even where I live, tons of stores have shut down because they just didn't have enough people. Even though they were making more than enough money, they weren't getting good service, and it was lowering their service scores. And so even though they were making a lot of fucking money, they didn't want their service scores going down. So they just started shutting down stores.
Yeah, see, I lean towards what Ali said. I believe that they really don't want to pay people. I lean towards that, because you can say you have job openings, but if there's nothing you can get me to do a shit job for a shitty amount of money. Now, if you're paying a reasonable amount of money, then there are things that people will absolutely do that they wouldn't have considered before. You know what I'm saying? But what adult is what adult is going to go and do some shit that's, below market value?
I agree with you to an extent. The problem is that's why I brought up the fact that wages are outpacing inflation, is because before COVID, we didn't have a huge problem with people taking those jobs. But after, even though wages are better now compared to inflation than they were before, now for some reason, people won't take the jobs when technically they're making more than they would before. And so the issue is that, one, it is that millennials aren't replacing the workforce. So while boomers are retiring at record rates, right? We call them boomers because they had the baby boom. They all were born right around the same time. So they're all going to retire around the same time. So now we have the biggest part of the workforce all retiring at once. We're losing a massive chunk of the workforce, and there's nobody replacing them coming of age. Then there's also the fact that millennials choose to work less than everybody before them, whether it's Gen X or the boomers or anybody, everybody before them. Millennials have chosen to work less and prioritize their free time more than anything. So if they can make just enough, but then play video games for another 30, 40 hours a week, they'll choose to do that because they care about their free time more. They care about their quality time. They care about spending time with their family and their kids and their girlfriend. And they care about these things more than saying, well, I'm going to go work 60 hours a week and invest in my future and make sure that they don't give a fuck about that. They're like, nah, fuck that shit. I will work just enough and do just enough to get by. And if my boss asks me to stay late, fuck him. I'm going home. I'm playing Call of Duty. So yeah.
You know what it is too, Tom? Us as parents, we're a lot more successful and have a lot more resources. And so there's not that pressure to go and make money for the family on them. You know what I'm saying? It's like my daughter can come home after college and, we can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like we have family businesses. She can work the family business. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Right. So there's not that pressure to like go to the 18, get a job or go to the military. There's not that pressure anymore,
Correct. So we have compounding factors. No, no, you're much better now. It's a small echo, but it's much better.
Echo.
Does the echo still?
It's the echo.
That's crazy.
It's there, but it's not nearly as bad as it was before.
What about now? Now it's worse?
I don't hear
hello.
Oh,
yeah, it's still there.
I hear when other people talk, not you.
Whatever you did right before, it seemed like something happened, and then now it's echoing again.
I'm going to mute.
What about now?
No,
One, two,
I
three,
think
test.
John Henry. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, it's still there. It hasn't changed.
It doesn't echo when he talks. It echoes when other people talk.
It only echoes when we talk because our audio is coming out of his speakers and going back into his mic.
I see what's going on. I apologize.
So on StreamYard, you should be able to click echo cancellation on your audio
But it's
section.
not that. It's because I'm using the camera from the phone. And
Your
it's
camera is
picking
next
up-
to speaker.
And now, even though it's muted, it's
Oh.
picking up. Like if I change cameras, it will literally disappear. But I got you guys, friends. I'll go back to the old camera. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You just have to change which one the mic is on.
It's fancy studio. Damn, man.
There's
Hold
a lot
on,
of things
man.
going on, friends. I apologize.
Man, my boy got the fancy studio now. Hold on, big dog.
But yeah, the point is that there's compounding factors, and so it just makes it to where each one of those factors is lowering the amount of people that we have. And so with the company that I was with, they kept saying, like, putting a lot of pressure on everybody to hire more, keep pushing. We're raising wages. And I kept telling them, like, guys, the people just don't exist. Like, it's not that you need to find the people, it's that the people don't exist. Like, they're just not there. And so that's why people are starting to shut down businesses, is because everything's about speed now. It's about service. It's about getting everything done quick. And so if you don't have enough people to do it quickly, even if you're still making more than enough money to pay all your bills and everything, they don't want their like customer service ratings going down and people complaining about how slow they are all the time. And so they're just shutting down stores to make it to where they will be remembered as a better quality store.
See, I
Question, guys. Did everyone answer the first question? Did everyone answer the first question? Should stands to be a temporary boost to permanent safety net?
I think so. I don't remember.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think we all did here. Fatty, we're gonna get back on topic, or we're just gonna kind of mine this extra part out that contributes
Well,
to.
I don't think any of us really disagree on the actual topic is the issue. So
How was it off topic?
Final, 1 second. Final. I still have echo on the bed.
No, not as far as off topic, but I know we're looking at one of the contributing factors going into welfare. About food stamps, about being able to earn an income. I think we pretty much mined that one all something that goes with it.
We go where you want to go. Like now, somebody has echo, not me. I'm good right now. I'm good now.
I think no, it is still you.
Hold on, press mute first, Fatty. Press mute.
No, he's not echoing when he talks, so we know it's him.
What about now? 1, 2, 3 testing. 1, 2, 3 testing.
No,
Fatty.
you not.
Hello.
Yeah,
it's still the same.
so John, Tom's right. You don't echo when you talk.
But y'all echo when
Are you
I
sure
talk?
the echo cancellation is turned on StreamYard? You're sure?
That's crazy.
Let me see. It's his echo cancellation is on.
Wow.
What about now? 1, 2, 3 testing. 1, 2, 3 testing.
We got to talk.
Hello. Yeah,
No.
still echoing. So again, it's us echoing, not you. So
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, you'd be better to just put on some earbuds. That's what'll make the difference. Is some headphones or earbuds.
That's crazy. I have to put my spatula on. That's crazy. Give me a second.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know if
Aldi, if you can read the super chats in the middle. Ali.
Buckle up, everyone. It's time for some super chats.
Ali, if you're talking, man, you're muted.
It's time for some super chats.
Also, Ali, put your hand up so you can hear anybody.
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
Okay, there you go. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we good. It just Fatty echoing. Okay. Player one with the gifted membership. Much love to you, my brother. Truly appreciate that. One of the best. In fact, I keep saying producers. I'm supposed to say editors, right? You said I ain't supposed to say producers. Even though
he's not the producer, he's an editor.
Hey, much love to you, my brother. Oops, wrong one. Let's see. And then my brother Philosophical, man, much love to you, man. Keep doing your thing on Lapeep. Keep it on your momentum, my brother. With the $10 super chat, I'm late. What's the science, man? We talking about food stamps, family. We talking about food stamps and the narrative people are putting around food stamps. My brother Bud Maynard, I hope I'm saying that right, with a $5 super chat, and he sent the $5 even. The average weight of women on EBT is 210 pounds. The program is ruining more people's lives than it's helping. I don't know. Y'all know about that? I don't know about that.
It is true that obviously the less money that somebody makes, the more likely they are to eat unhealthy food. So they'll go to like dollar menus at McDonald's or at Burger King or something like that. And then the more money somebody makes, the more likely they are to buy healthy foods and, healthy, fresh vegetables and crap like that, because they actually have the money to afford it. And so there's things called like food deserts, where in poorer areas, they don't have a lot of fresh vegetables and fruits for people to eat. And so just in general,
I know he's just being a dick. He's just being a dick. Don't take that statement serious. He's just being a dick, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. The Great Dane, tomfoolery. Hey y'all, one thing, please don't be disrespectful in the chat, and please don't disrespect our guests, man.
I don't mind.
I don't that a time.
Send it. Give them money and talk some shit. Let's go.
Please don't. I don't my brother Lou, the legend, with the 20 gifted memberships. Much love to you, my brother. Truly appreciate it, man. One of a kind, my brother. Truly appreciate it. And then Frederick Howard with the $5 super chat. LB Johnson started this food stamp mess, Democratic forever. Shaking my head. Check the history. Much love to you.
And the problem is what? He did a good thing for the country. It's just that bad intended folks have ruined what was started out as a good thing.
Man, it gets plot thickens. Be streaming with the $5 super chat. When you broke $12 to $15 an hour, better than $0 an hour. That's the problem. Broke losers thinking the job is beneath them. They get no sympathy from me. I wonder who they talking about.
That's not true. The minimum wage in Texas is $7.25.
Hey, look! Don't listen to that nigga. Look.
Well, he's saying that because earlier we were talking about like the wages and whether or not they're keeping up, and I think a couple of people were talking about the fact that some jobs just aren't worth what it is that these businesses are paying, and so he was saying, well, if you don't have a job, then it's at least worth.
I know that Tomfoolery, you were right. The wages have went up, I think, but it's only for about 57%. I think 57% of the wages have went up, but then from January to I forgot, is it April? I'm not sure. But it said that the wages fell because the inflation went higher than the wages did, the percentage of the wages. I'm not sure. Hold on, let me see something real quick.
Hey, if y'all think
what it is that in 2019 we had. Oh, sorry. My bad. I didn't hear.
People are saying that no jobs are paying $7.25. They clearly don't know the minimum wage.
Nah, they don't know the minimum wage if they're saying that.
They don't know the minimum wage. Like a simple Google search can answer that. But also, my bad.
No, you good. You good. Say what you got to say real quick.
The last thing is that when you got families with kids, the cost of childcare, they can't even afford to not be at home. It's literally cheaper to be at home. You know what I'm saying? Than to go work a shitty ass job and have to pay childcare for 2, 3, 4 kids.
Oh, we didn't even talk about childcare, medical care. We ain't get all that stuff. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I wish I lived in Portugal.
Just for the inflation thing, I was just gonna say the thing that matters is that in 2019 and like through COVID and after COVID, we had record-breaking inflation all over the world. And so what we count it from is when that inflation started in 2019. And so they're just saying that since 2019, wages have outpaced inflation. So even if they've gone down a little bit and up a little bit here and there, overall, since 2019, they have risen faster than the inflation has.
Do I still have echo?
Hello.
It's good.
No, nope. You're good.
Okay. I just want to say that I have a friend that works in IT that makes more than $3,000 in Portugal when the minimum wage is $800, and he pays like $50 per kid to put them on daycare because the government pays the rest. I just want to say that.
See,
he got his earbuds in. Let's go.
Use that the government can do.
I just wanted to say, like, y'all are fighting about shit that is kind of like in my world is like, like,
yeah.
What's going on, Illa?
What's good?
So let's see. The $2, the be streaming again with a $2 super chat. People have resumes but won't peak pay.
There's some truth in that. In IT, I will say that. Yeah.
Yeah, but how, to what extent though? If someone's working, like if you working 40 hours a week and you or overtime and you still can't live, man, we gotta. It's something wrong with that.
So there's actually. Do you have any more super chats?
Yeah. We got 3 more. Unc be streaming with the $5 super chat. No one like to talk about all the bad choices these people made to even be eligible for SNAP. No education, no trade. Kids with losers, not victims. Is that a real page?
No, there's
think about that.
That's
I'm
Red
saying
Pill.
that this is what Unc just said. What Red Pill just said. That now you're conflating things together. Right? That is a
That's Red Pill.
Yeah.
Yes, the Red Pill Ranger.
Dang, Red Pill. You got ChatGPT and saying that? God dang.
Face.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a conflated statement. We'll get back to that later.
Yeah, this is the last one. And then my brother Carl Anderson, one of the true legends of the Untouchables as well, too, man. Empire gifted us with 5 super chats. Much love to you, my brother. I truly appreciate it. All right,
thank you very much, Carl. I just want to say one thing before I move the topic, right? And this ties with my socialist background. If you work 8 hours, you should afford the 1-bedroom apartment. I'm sorry. If you work 8 hours, you should afford like the average in your area. Let's imagine that let's imagine that you are in New York and the average cost of living when it comes to groceries, paying food, like all the utilities and all that, average rent and all that. 8 hours, the bare minimum they should be paying you exactly what their minimum is, straight up, because there's no reason. There's people that are working 2 jobs and they still are literally 1 paycheck away from, or 1 illness away from just being completely wrecked. This is like we say, capitalism for the poor and socialism for the rich. All of these companies and these rich people, they are too big to fail. Every time they mess up, we save them. We go ahead and we privatize, we nationalize them, do a bunch of money. The United States is sending money to Argentina. 20 million, 40 billion. Israel has healthcare, universal healthcare. I could have 7 cancers, broke my leg in 7 places, my head, and I will have treatment for free the rest of my life. It's inconceivable that American people have 2 people at home. They're working 2 jobs each, and they are literally 1 catastrophic or 1 car breakdown away from just going completely broke. That shit is ridiculous. That doesn't happen in any place in the world that actually is a first world country. Go ahead, Tom, because you were not nodding your head. I don't know what you.
Yeah, just like some of that, like to an extent, like if lots of these service industries, the service industry is like the most common employer in America. Like that is the biggest like section is the service industry, and they really can't afford these things. Like the average labor rate for most businesses is going to be about like 24 to 25%. Like that's the amount of like revenue that they bring in, and then the amount that they pay towards wages is about like 25% of their revenue. But when it comes to like restaurant jobs, those stores pay out about 32 to 34% of their revenue towards wages, and so they're already paying way more than everybody else. And
they still the people that work in restaurants are literally dependent on the customer and on the tips. This is the reason why, for example, in Europe, when they close everything, like when they close, let's do this, right, Tom? So you are telling me that the margins in Europe when it comes to restaurants are way higher than the margins on the United States. Let's imagine not the Burger King and the McDonald's, because that's kind of fast food, but you are telling me that Fogo do Chão in the United States and Fogo do Chão in Spain has completely different margin profit rates when it comes to like selling the same thing. Like, do you think the percentage is different?
Well, no, that's what I'm talking about, like fast food restaurants and like service industries, like where they sell like any sort of restaurant. Most restaurants, yes, their labor rates are about 34%.
Okay. So you shouldn't be on the business of owning a restaurant. Shut that shit and go work on McDonald's.
Sure,
if you are
sure.
a business owner that you
okay,
can afford to actually pay the wages, and you are dependent on Ilkan, Sean Antonio to leave a FT tip to the server, you shouldn't own a restaurant, because if Sean Antonio doesn't sell the t-shirts enough or hoodies enough, he's going to go bankrupt. He doesn't have any. He doesn't have the. Oh, but no. Is if you're going to do the capitalism, the crony capitalism, either you sink or swim. If you can afford 7 employees and you need 7 employees, you need to either you, your woman, your kid, and your cousin be serving those tables, or you need to shut the fuck up, leave the business, and go work for another people, because you can run a business. That's how it should be.
I understand that that's like nice to say and all, but if that's the case, we lose over 1/3 of all businesses in the United States. 1/3 of all jobs just disappeared. And so now there's no fucking jobs for anybody to work.
Didn't FedEx yesterday fire 40,000 people? Like FedEx or UPS or something like that? Respectfully. Why?
Yes, and that's a drop in the bucket.
No, but Tom, but that's my point, right, Tom? The system is corrupt. The system is made for you to either lose by a little or lose by a lot. Like only these big corporations are the ones. So that's Tom. Is the system inherently flawed if you can sustain, like if your employees are 1 paycheck away from getting fucked up, if you as a business owners are 2 paychecks away from getting fucked up, if the housing prices keep, like, aren't you on a corrupt system?
So even the stat, I know there's tons of studies that say that like 1/3 of Americans are 1 paycheck from or 1 emergency from getting going bankrupt, or the majority of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. But this includes people who are making up to like $300,000 a month. So these are people who are making, a year, $300,000 a year. These people are also living paycheck to paycheck, and these people are also just spending a lot of money and putting a lot of strain on their own wallets and on their own bank accounts, to the point where they're not able to deal with an emergency if it comes up. Whereas me, I don't make nearly that much. I live in the fucking suburbs, and I make sure that, yes, when I have emergencies, I have money on the side that's there for me to take care of myself. That is, like, a lot of people are just not living within the world that they should be based on their own bank account.
Hey, Tom, did you hear what Ali said about groceries? Ali is an extremely established man. Ali is probably one of these people that never looks at the price of gas when he pumps like he goes to the gas station. I was that too. Since I got here on this place, like 3 years ago, I never look at the prices. And with 20 euros, I would feel, I'll eat well, go get to the groceries. Now with $20, you get one of the small pizzas, you get 1 little drink, you get 1 little chip, and you're done. This is why all these people that are literally very close to the poverty line, they're all fat and shit, because a pizza costs $3 or $4. It's better for them to just go ahead and have a meal like that than to try to get healthy food and get fucked up, right?
That's what I'm
but
saying.
The reality is, but the reality is this: if people that are on the upper echelons are of finance, not finance, but on the economy, are looking at the grocery prices in a ridiculous way, like what happens to all these people, especially if they have kids, especially if they have to take care of a sick elder, dad, a mom, a cousin, their wife gets sick. Matter of fact, let's do it even worse. And then we go back to the topic. Most of these people have their health benefits connected to the fact that they are employed. Literally, they are connected, like their health benefits, which a lot of times is the difference between you being stable and you go completely bankrupt, is held to the fact that you have a job. How is that possible? If I am sick and you fire me because I am sick, and now I can take care of my shit because I am sick, so I lost the benefit. Like, how does this make sense at all? This makes no sense.
You know, I want everybody to make as much money as they can. I want everybody to be as good off as they can, or well off as they can. I want everybody to be as comfortable as they can. So I'm not arguing for people to make less money or to have to struggle. I'm saying that you're using very hyperbolic language to talk about this as though anybody who's not capable of paying those things within the market that we're currently in just needs to shut down their businesses. And I think that that's ridiculous. But as far as like, yes, I want everybody to be able to make as much as possible. And I want everybody to live as much, as lavish of a lifestyle as possible.
That's not what I said, John. Sorry, Tom, that's not what I said. What I said is we should create conditions for these people to survive and to be comfortable. Because if we don't,
you said if these people can't pay those wages, they shouldn't run a business.
John, because I was using their logic against themselves. These people that say pull yourself by the bootstraps are ruthless when it comes to poor people.
If you're just saying you don't believe
so what
that,
I'm saying is that
then we agree. Okay.
My point is very simple. You have to stretch the safety net on the United States. It's impossible that people that are regular citizens are still like middle class are struggling, not because they overspend, but because everything is just crazy expensive. So either you actually extend the safety net and give the same safety net that you give to the rich billionaires and to these rich companies, you give to these people that are one paycheck away from ruin, or everybody plays by the same rules. And if it's capitalism for the poor, it needs to be capitalism for the rich and for these people that are business owners. If they can't swim, let them sink, unless somebody actually that can, because this is what we're doing right now. Ilo, welcome to the show. I don't know if you have anything to say, Ali, interrupting you too. So if you guys have anything to say, just that.
Yeah, man. First, just to be clear, what y'all talking about?
We were
I hear a
talking
lot of
about
shit.
food stamps on the beginning,
So
and
food
then we
stamps,
shifted a little
okay.
bit. Yes.
Yeah. What's your name, Tom? What's your name?
Tom.
What?
Tom.
Tomfoolery. Tomfoolery. Yeah. So I was hearing you say some things, and it's like the problem with people that think like you is it's so much shit you have to ignore to come to your conclusion. But the thing is, we know that though. Most people, they're oblivious to that, but we not. So to even get to the part of the fair dollar and the fair exchange between a service and a proprietor and a solicitor and all that, you have to ignore the fact that most of these corporations, most of these laws, most of these conglomerates are dirty as fuck, taking resources from people that ain't got shit to do with where they from, doing it through unfair laws, using manipulating and benefiting from child labor laws from other places, any loophole, any possible slithery spot they can get to. That's constantly happening all the fucking time before we can even get to the actual register and the Apple Pay transaction. So when you talk, you ignore all of that shit. That shit is prevalent. And you said something about the average person. You want the person to make the most money they can. They can't make the most money you can. This system can only work if somebody is at a deficit. It's designed that way. So when you speak, I feel like you ignore a lot of those factors when you come to your conclusion. And it's like, you have to acknowledge that. Why don't you acknowledge that?
I don't know what conclusion you think I came to that ignored any of those things outside of the fact that you said somebody has to be in a deficit. That is not true. That's not how our
It's not true.
At all, but no.
Why
So
it's not true?
how do you transfer wealth? How do these people, every time there's economic crisis and people lose $1 trillion, they decide to get $1 trillion? How is that not?
I mean, like you got Rwanda.
More money in America today than there has ever been before. Yet there's not now people that are negative that much money in America.
Because you're not thinking about everybody. You're thinking about your reality and your America and your reality and all of that. But the products that we use here, somebody had to die or was made to make that product, and they probably made a quarter. So for you to even have the free enterprise that you have, it's at the expense of somebody else, whether they're immediately affecting your life or not. Because most of the products that's made in these Apple phones are made in Africa. Most of these jewels or the products they need is made in the jungles in the Congo, where they over there killing each other, and Apple just leave at the back door with what they need, and they can sell these phones on the holidays and Black Friday. So the fact that you and your friends and everybody can access the latest iPhone, you forget that a lot of things would happen just for that one phone. Do you realize that happens every time?
Yes,
you're
that
conflating a
doesn't
lot of
answer
things
the
right
question
now.
that
Go ahead.
you were saying that it's a zero-sum game. I said that there's more money in America, yet there's nobody who went into the negatives that much. And the reason is because we've used bonds to create a credit system to where we have debt that we're leaning on in order to create that wealth. So nobody had to go negative. We're negative with debt, but it's credit. So we are able to keep building on that. There is no zero-sum
Yeah,
game.
but who is we, Tom? Like, who is able
Exactly.
to build
Who's
on credit?
we?
Is we the
The United
average
States.
Americans? No. Let's do this, right? Because this is
Well,
the
I'm just saying we're moving
No,
the
I'm not
goalposts
talking.
again, but
I
just
don't. Hey,
want to be
Tom,
clear.
I don't disagree with you. That's what you said is facts, right?
Okay.
But that's the
All
thing.
right.
The like this is what a lot of times when people talk about what I'm talking about, I talk about the American government. Talking about American people to me is irrelevant. I talk about the American government and the powers that be. It's very different. It's like you're talking about Israel and the government of Israel. Probably there's a very nice people in Israel as citizens, like right. They want peace. They don't war. They want to thrive and all that. But when you talk about the government, you have to actually talk about whatever the inclinations is the government and decisions they made. Like Illa said, this system is rigged for the rich who can use credit and you can use, but like is the people that already have enough capital that are rigging the game and circling and passing the money from end to end to end, while the regular people can't even save
Because
to even
Tom,
get into the wheel.
they had jobs over here and they outsourced all of them for the last 40, 50 years to all these other countries. They took away the jobs in Detroit. They took away the manufacturing jobs in America and outsourced them because it was cheaper. So what I'm saying is the idea of America is something that we all agree on. We all agree on the idea of what America should be. But I'm talking about for it to run smoothly in this current day with this corrupt party systems is heavily dependent on the deficit of may not be us, but it is us still, but for other countries. It's not just a fair game. Like it's corrupt from the inside out. It's bigger than just American government. It's a worldwide conglomerate. Like I think this shit just got to start all over, bro.
Well, so the problem is that there's complaints coming from both sides. So like there's one side that's saying like, hey, look, these people don't make enough. We don't have the manufacturing jobs. People should have jobs where they're able to stay there for their life and get the watch and everything at the end before they leave. And that sounds great and all. But with those factory jobs and manufacturing jobs, those came with a lot of regulations and safety concerns and people dying and a lot of like problems that came with them. So that cost a lot more money that then wasn't going to the employee because they needed to spend all of this on, better equipment, more auditors, more, like all sorts of things that made it really expensive to run factories in America. So yeah, they moved them to other countries because those other countries didn't have the safety concerns. They don't do the auditing. They don't care about all that shit. Here, it's just not profitable. It's too expensive.
So do you see a moral?
We have higher standards for our jobs here. We have a high standard for jobs here. And because we have a higher standard, it also means that sometimes we make a little bit less, but we have higher quality of life and higher quality of work as well.
It's funny, Tom, you try to make it moral. Is amoral. Is all about money. It's all about the fact that
I made it about money. I didn't say anything about morals. That was all money.
I did it again. You explained something, and I tried to put the intention of what you explained. So let me take it out. You are right?
Okay.
But like when you're talking about, let's go with the unions and the regulations and all that. You know what he actually is? Nobody's going to get hurt on a call center. I could be calling to London or to New York. Hello, how are you doing, sir? Hey, come again. Why am I calling to DHL and somebody in India is picking up my phone? It's because it's cheaper.
Well, sure.
Right?
He brought up manufacturing, though.
I know. He's talking about manufacturing, but this is a principle that not only the manufacturers and the factories did. Every single job that these people can outsource and send to China, Taiwan, Vietnam, they will do it. Not because of regulations or standard of living. It's just because it makes their shareholders a buck. So when we come into this conclusion and we're starting to have a conversation about jobs coming back and tariffs and all that shit, I'll say it again. If you are going, for example, to put a tariff that the American consumer is going to pay for, because this is what it is. It's the American consumer that is importing shit and is importing a cap, and now in Spain, and you are celebrating that shit. If you are going to pass the buck to the final consumer, you should make sure that that consumer, the day that is not able to pay something, he has a safety net so he doesn't fall right to motherfucking hell. We're not trying to rescue people from their own stupidity 7 times, like the president of the United States, by the way, and the amount of bankruptcy that he has. But if these people have access to all these safety nets, I believe that I'm allowed to fail 2 times in my life before I actually go be vanquished to Skid Row. You know what I'm saying? I think that's very fair. And for the people that complain, go ahead.
You said it a couple of times that like they're bailing out the rich people, and you're not wrong, but it's not for the rich people. It is also for the poor people, because most of those people, it's going to affect one rich person and like a million poor people who work for those companies and
you don't have to
have jobs there and
to have what kind of life though?
And so
I disagree.
I'm sorry.
You just proved our point though.
I'm arguing against his point, but every time like I argue against your point, he pivots to something else, and then after I argue against him, then you
we stand right where you at. We ain't going nowhere. We going right to what you just said. What you just said just validated what I said to you earlier, which is someone has to be at a deficit for someone to be at a greater. So you just minimize, poor people get jobs. What kind of jobs, making what kind of money to afford what kind of life? You're just saying that the fact that someone can exist based on working for this company is good enough because your analysis is it doesn't have empathy, because to truly excel, hold on, bro.
I didn't say any of that.
No, you don't have to say it. It's implied. It's in your nature. You can't help it. It's just what you are. So it ain't about. You ain't never got to say it.
A bunch of shit I never said.
You don't have to say it. It's the spirit of what you're saying. It's the spirit of what you're saying. I know that don't matter to you. I know, but that's why the world is what it is, because people who have that kind of spirit don't understand what the people who don't have, and why they can't just get up and figure it the fuck out, because they already have it established that this is just how it goes. The big corporations make the money and the everyday person goes to work, and that's just how it goes. Like, that's already established in your mind, so you can't even fathom people who don't even fuck with that shit or even validate none of that. You can't even fathom that.
I have a question.
I didn't say any of that. You're just arguing, making up a straw man and easily blowing it over, because that's a lot easier to argue against than the arguments that I made against the bullshit that you actually said. I didn't argue against a straw man that you said. I argued against what you actually said. What did I say? What part of what you just said did I say?
You just said how the poor people they depend on those jobs, as if that justifies them getting bailouts, and it doesn't, because those poor people get jobs that they can barely afford to live their poor lives. They're just existing working for these companies. So you bringing up that argument was an example of how someone is at a deficit for somebody to be at a greater. You didn't say that verbatim. You just explained it with your scenario.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying,
Tom, before you go, Tom, before you go, I don't want to
bailouts, and I'm saying it's not just for a rich person; it's also for those people.
No, we got it.
As though they're just better off without the job, but them not having the job doesn't fix the system.
I have a solution.
The fixes that you want to the system aren't made by not giving the person the bailout, and all of these people just not having jobs. Then that's
no, but Tom,
better.
I have a solution, Tom. So, and this is what you actually explained a zero-sum game, right? Kind of is, right? But you said it was not a zero-sum game, but it actually is. You know how actually this shit works in Europe? I'm going to explain you what it is. Let's imagine that Coca-Cola goes bankrupt, right? The government says Coca-Cola in our country is 30% of the economy, is too big to fail. So we're going to go and try to find private entities that work on the business, like I don't know, any kind of water, soda. And they're going to say, do you guys have the funds to buy Coca-Cola so these people can maintain their jobs? And if they go there and they don't find nobody, the government takes your shit. It's called nationalization. So now Coca-Cola is paying the Portuguese Spain people that actually saved the company. And by the time they pay back all the money that was poured into that company goes to an auction, and the biggest bidder gets the company solved, the people keep their jobs and all that. My question is, if on the United States, every single company gets bailed out by the government, be bank, whatever, Why can't those companies be nationalized for 20 years, pay all the money they owe to Sean Antonio, John, Henry, Tina, and everybody that pour money into the economy, and then by the end of the day, the companies for the American people, and we say, you couldn't swim, so you sank, we saved you from sinking, and now we're going to sell this shit to the people that actually can manage a company. Why can everybody around the planet can do this, but the United States, y'all pour money into that shit, they use your money to go ahead and go up, give extra bonuses to the shareholders and to the executives and all that shit. And instead of sending the money back to the American people, they do it over and over again so they can get another motherfucking boom, another motherfucking bonus. And we keep doing this cycle every 8 to 10 years over and over again. Why can't they do that?
And I want to say this last little thing. When you really think about, let's just think about the best companies, even the companies that make a lot of money, they hire a lot of people. The fucking products are some of the most terrible products in the world. So even if they're successful making products that people shouldn't even put in their bodies. They're making products that people shouldn't even have near their bodies. Like these things are not even fruitful for the health of the human. So they making money off of the worst possible ingredients, selling it to people and giving bullshit jobs, which is explaining that the nature of the whole thing is corrupt from the inside out, regardless of the fair wages or unfair wages. It's not like they're making money off of something that's helping people. Coca-Cola kill people. It creates cancer. These foods be killing folks. They're making huge money. These phones have all types of radiation that come off it that cause brain. You can't, they even tell you, can't even how you gonna sell phones and have it on the box, don't have it in your head? It's a phone. You look at Big Pharma before the commercial go off, it's 1 million side effects. Like you just had a headache. Now your eyes might turn purple, anal bleeding, you might pass out. You just wanted some shit for your headache. Like you're dismissing all of that. Like that matters, bro.
I'm not dismissing it. I don't know. You keep making this up. I don't know what I don't know how to argue against somebody who just keeps making up shit for me to now take as a position. I never said any of this. I didn't dismiss it. It's all things that matter, just not to what the fuck we're talking about right now when it comes to whether or not this is a zero-sum game, whether or not people are supposed to get bailed out, whether or not that's going to hurt the economy at large. What I don't Fatty just said that people are getting bailed out numerous times. I don't know what company
so they're both
more than
Tom
once, but
no, Tom.
This
Y'all,
definitely a topic.
Illa and Fatty are saying.
Ali, just one second, Ali. Tomfoolery.com bubble, 2008 crisis, COVID, and now the AI bubble. Go look at the biggest, redistribution of wealth, and no, literally the double, triple, quadruple, like their network.
Yeah, but it's not the same company.
And you're going to see always the same people getting those benefits. If you look at the banking system, you're going to find the same culprits again and again and again. So once again, I will tell you this. If you aren't going to dismiss, for example, what happened in 2020, which is fair because COVID was a very special case, prepare yourself to see who are going to be the companies on this next bubble that is going to burst, and compare them with the people that were doing business in 2008. And then we're going to talk if it's not the same people doing the same thing over and over again, just with different bases, just different rebranding. This is not the Team Fatty show. This is the Shut Up Fatty show. This is not the Shut Up Fatty show. This is the Wake Up Fatty show. It's a front that keeps rolling and rolling and rolling while the same people keep going to the bank and keep cashing out. Ali, sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead, and then
I want to see where the disconnect is, because he keeps saying either Illa not on point or addressing this point, and just you and Illa both are making the point that the government is corrupt, and I believe Tom Foolery, are you saying the government's not corrupt?
No, I can speak for myself because I ain't really saying just that. I'm gonna say this and he could talk. What I'm saying is the nature of this process of business, commerce, exchange, legislation, the loophole to sell a product that might kill somebody but might not if I get the right legislation passed, or if I can get the right criteria. The fact that it's all these ways to make money off of people selling half-ass products that'll kill them. The fact that that can be done in the first place before we even get to who's hired, before we can get to who pays a salary. The fact that that can exist in reality, and for the most part, most of this reality is monopolized by a small group of people. The fact that that can even exist is the problem. And now that's the part you may be missing at. So I guess you wanted to specify, a certain whether we taking advantage of the system or not. And you want to look there. You're looking at the microcosm. I'm expanding your mindset because your mindset speaks to a bigger mindset. But it's okay.
Well, I wasn't talking about whether or not we were taking advantage of the system. I never said anybody took advantage of the system. Fatty was the one who was arguing that people were taking advantage of the system. I never said.
But could you admit that you said this? Could you admit that you said that people are not taking advantage? Like you said, there is no have, basically, like let's not have and have not. So there's not, or the companies are not making money on behalf. Like people are not losing. There's no deficit at the expense of people getting better. You did say that?
I said it's not a zero-sum game. So you said people have to lose in order for others to gain.
Absolutely.
But even today, like people are
yeah. That's what I said. Yep. So you're saying that don't exist.
So correct, because
that's not true.
I can prove it. I can prove it's wrong. I can prove it's wrong.
No, hold on.
But he proved it himself. He proved it himself. He said poor people can work for the companies.
To do.
No,
yes,
you
just said. The fact that, hold on, I heard you. So I talked about the fact that even in our country, we have continued to become richer and richer and richer, and there is nobody going into a deficit because we're using the Fed. We have continued to generate more money and print more money and use credit to print that money, that when we use this credit, there's nobody who is going negative in order for us to continue becoming richer and richer.
So first of all, hold on. So first of all, you're talking about we. Who is we? You're talking about the actual
United States. You guys have asked this question twice already.
Great. I'm glad you said that. Great. Just because it exists doesn't mean it touches everybody in the country. So for you to say that, it's like
it did. Don't pivot again.
But what's the point of bringing it up then? No.
It's a zero-sum game. Hold on. We're talking about whether or not it's a zero-sum game.
We're talking about people.
Pivoting. We're talking about whether or not there is money that is able to be generated without anybody losing. That is the question. You said it has to be this zero-sum game. I'm saying no. We have generated money within the United States without anybody going into a deficit. That's the point that I made over and over.
Yo, congratulations. That's not a profound statement. Who the fuck don't know that? Of course, this stuff
produced. You don't know that.
We do know. No, let me land my plane.
You're welcome. You have learned something today. I'm glad you stopped making that argument.
All right, congratulations.
Into this. Thank you.
Great. Like I said, that's cool. But what you said don't make no fucking sense, because what you're talking about is what the country produces that's able to be accessed. What we're talking about is a lack of access. So just because there's mad money around me don't mean not to touch the shit. So what the country makes as a whole, hold on, bro. What the country makes as a whole doesn't necessarily justify what goes to the everyday person for them to make money. You're just explaining what's accessible, what the country makes available. But based on where you're at in life, determines how quick or if you can access that at all. It's like looking at shit behind a glass wall, bro. So you saying that does not negate the fact that people are still at a deficit at the expense of people who make more, because most of that money is from big corporations. It don't represent the people. It represents people who have companies and corporations. So if you're not that money is around you, but that don't mean you access it. So you saying that doesn't denote that fact.
And just to clarify something real quick, right? It's definitely a zero-sum game, Tom, because the last worldwide crisis, the subprime mortgages crisis, was literally the bankers selling shitty products to the consumers, knowing for a fact they couldn't afford no 7-story building and all that shit. Making money in the front and making money in the back. Like, these people are literally starving out and making sure that these people have access to shit that they know for a fact they can afford, just so they can get away with getting their bonuses and getting their stocks and getting all this shit. So it's definitely a zero-sum game, because for some people to win, there's a massive amount of people that are going to lose. Like respectfully, just the fact that everybody on that crisis got away with bonuses and nobody went to jail, while there was thousands of people killing themselves, throwing themselves, losing their houses, losing their healthcare, losing everything. that shows that actually it's a zero-sum game, because some people won a lot. They got all the money on the front and they got all the money on the back, and they still had the government to come in and to save their companies, while other people lost their jobs, lost their houses, and lost everything. So it's actually a zero-sum game. Absolutely. And you know why it's a zero-sum game? Because if it wasn't, these companies wouldn't be averse to having the regular people, the regular worker, to actually thrive. Like, what was the problem with the person? What was the problem with the regular worker have a family and afford the house and a car? Like, if they, sorry, English is fucking up. If that was not like the result of immense greed, I will take from you so I can afford a mansion and a Ferrari, while you can even afford getting a bus pass. Like, why would I be so averse on these people thriving? Why wouldn't I raise their wages? Why wouldn't I put them on better living conditions? Why wouldn't I allow unions? Why wouldn't I allow all these things? Like, he's
right. And the fact that
I'm
he
sorry,
says
I don't want to repeat myself again. We're just on.
Yeah, it's fine.
You guys
Don't,
keep
fine.
You
moving
said
the goalposts every time. So
no. You said debt doesn't power
the.
Lily addressed it. You're saying debt doesn't power the economy, and it's a literal thing that powers the economy. The banks give out loans. The government gives credit to stimulate expansion. The corporations have to borrow to grow. The consumers have to borrow to spend. You have housing that gives out mortgages so people to be in debt. You have college loans. You have transportation for people to get auto loans. You got corporate loans for business expansion. You said that this system is not relying on the debt for the economy to fluctuate.
I said
and grow.
It's not a zero-sum game, is what I
No.
said. Not that
No.
it's not relying on the debt.
So do you think we all got?
literally
Do you think
put
it's a
debt in
fair
my
playing field for everybody? You think everybody got the same opportunity? 20, like you? Do you
No.
think?
No.
I'm just
No.
asking. I'm just asking.
Obviously not.
No,
That's
don't move.
like
Don't move.
Oh, I'm
away.
just asking.
No.
Just
That's
asking.
no. You said that. Hold on, y'all. You said that, and Illa said that. Are you saying that debt isn't required? For the country doesn't want people to be in debt for the economy to grow. Like that, don't they? They depend on debt. They depend on us to be poor for the economy to be strong. Correct?
Yeah. What that is part of it. Yeah. Obviously.
That's what he was.
So
that's
what the fuck are we talking?
Why are you saying? That's what he was saying. That's what he was saying.
I've said 100 times.
No,
guys
you
keep
didn't.
saying
That's what
things
he
that nobody
said.
disagrees with.
You
No,
disagreed with
I
me.
said over and over. He keeps saying things nobody disagrees with. I am disagreeing with the fact that it's a zero-sum game. Then they pivot to something else and make another statement nobody disagrees with. And then it comes back to me.
Well, so what do you mean by zero-sum game? So let's define zero-sum game. What does that mean to you?
He did it
What's
already.
zero-sum game?
What does that mean? What does that? Hey, John Henry, please stop doing that, please.
Well, first of all, let me say, please, if I can, because I've listened long enough and no one has corrected Illa on the conflation of what was conversation on his.
No, let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
On the conflation, and also just bring.
What did I conflate?
All right, so here's the first. As far as we're talking about the zero-sum game, but we realize that yes, there are people who are not going to make money in the society. Can we agree on that? Can we agree that there are going to be people who are not going to make money?
It would be moving the goalpost, though. Yes, but they would be
we're staying with. I'll give it to him. You can have that. Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
He is addressing what the difference is. Yeah.
No, hold on. So then let
him finish, Ali. Let him finish.
Yeah. So I'm saying there are going to be people who are going to make money as well. But if I am in the car industry, and then I have someone who is in the textile industry, and I make money, and the people who are also in the car industry don't make money, and I have a better year than somebody else who also sells cars. What does that have to do with someone in a different industry who is still making their money, who is still living, is what I'm saying here. So when we say zero sum, somebody has to lose in order for someone to win. That is not always going to be the case. Are we talking about a maximum across the board, or are we talking, as again, like you say, a microcosm? Because just because somebody does win doesn't necessarily mean somebody else loses, unless we're talking particular industries. Is that what we're getting at?
Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So in the industry, you talking about the car industry, right?
Just as an example, yes.
Okay. How many cars are made in America today?
That I can't tell you on this point right now. I'll give it to you.
No, you should, because you brought it up. So you don't know if we got. Okay, so we don't have. So does anybody know if we produce cars in America today, or do we outsource it?
We produce some, but
we do produce some, but most cars are not made. So put like this: we used to produce more cars than we do now. Correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
So by that moving, that means people who used to be able to work that are not making that work anymore, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that stop Dodge, Chrysler, Benz, and does this stop them from competing with each other to make money? No, right?
No.
You're making my point.
So right, no, huh?
said you're making my point when I'm talking
No,
about.
I'm not making your point because you're focused on the company. You're making my point because the companies are still making money. But guess who's not anymore? The people that used to make them in America and work for those companies. So you can still see the process and the fair game of big companies and still at the expense of people underneath that. Y'all keep looking at the top.
But where are
So you
you
didn't
getting
make my
that they're
point.
not
I
making
didn't make your
money?
point, John.
And John, I'll give 1 second, please, 1 second, and I'll give the chance to John to actually reply. But that makes a zero-sum game, because either you actually put people in Detroit out of business to make your profit because you ship your shit to China, and now your company is making money while people in Detroit are literally don't have no motherfucking manufacturer in their city, or you bring the manufacturer to Detroit and now you can compete with other companies because everybody's shipping their shit to China. So now your car costs $50,000 while the same car like manufacturing in the United States cost like $70,000. So it's a zero-sum game for some people to win, there's other people to lose.
If that's the case, right? We're shipping all of these things overseas. All of these other countries are tariffing our country at higher rates than we're tariffing anybody else, right? All of them are doing all of this shit that we're not doing. We're not building as much in America anymore. We're not creating things anymore. Why are we still becoming richer and richer as a country?
Because the economy.
Hold on. No, let me ask.
I can't answer.
Because
let them talk. Let them talk.
So the question, the difference in what we're talking about is that people are looking at like microeconomics, right? But macro, it is not a zero-sum game, and the macro is what feeds into the micro. And so when you guys keep using these micro examples, like if somebody sends me a super chat, they have to pay $5 in order for me to gain $5. Sure, they lost 5, I gained 5. Sure. But that is like on a micro level. Whereas on the macro level, while the United States is not creating a whole lot anymore, somehow we are still becoming, as a country, our GDP is going up more and more and more and more.
Because we're a bunch of consumers. The United States has the biggest consumer base in America, which leads to the bigger problem. Because America breeds psychopaths, and we have fucking mental issues. So they can make mad money off of us because all we try to do is consume to get on, because we escapists. Because the everyday life and the shit that we gotta ignore all the time, it creates vices: shopping, smoking, strip clubs, buying this, buying that, materialism. So you're not really making an argument. You just have an argument.
No, I am.
No, listen. Your argument is just void of ethical perspective. It's just black and white with money. So you're making an argument. It's just void of that.
We're not talking about ethics. You're moving the goalposts.
You're not, because you come from a certain mindset. We know you're not.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Wait, please.
1 second, Tom. Let me answer the question, right? No, Tom, let me answer.
No, I need to.
No, Tom, you have time. Tom, you have time. Tom, you have time. I got you. But let me actually answer the question, because you are fucking up, right? Remember when I said the American people is different than the American government? Remember, like I talk about the American government, not the American people. GDP, like the mark of actually a good country, is what the average citizen can afford. Can he afford college? Is he in debt? Can he afford healthcare? Like, how much money can he save? How many kids does he have? What type of, like, can he afford a car? It's not about the number of billionaires. Because the motherfucking billionaires, if I have a trillionaire in a country full of poor people, if I'm going and average the GDP, I'm going to have way more per capita than I'm going to have on a country like the United States, where you have a motherfucking skyscraper, and then you have homeless people in front of the skyscraper living on a tent. This is what we're talking about. It's not about motherfucking Dubai. It's not about Qatar. Like, look at go to Dubai and you are going to see a skyscraper, and then 150 slave people from India working on 40 Celsius degrees on a motherfucking construction. That doesn't say nothing about the locals. That says something about the rich. So on the United States, when you're saying, oh, the countries keep getting richer and richer and richer, it's not the people on that country, it's the companies. All of that money is speculation.
all of that
We
money
can agree on
is
this 1,000 times. I
no,
don't know why you guys keep going
no,
back to
Tom.
the same arguments we've already
No,
agreed
Tom.
on. It's
So
not. This is going nowhere.
I got you, Tom. So the question, I'm going to make a question to you, so we can kind of understand what we're doing here, right? Are we talking about the amount of overachievers and billionaires that the country produces, showing the quality of that country, or are we talking about the regular folk, the day-to-day person, the person that has to do 8-hour job, 12-hour, like, are we talking about the people on the top, or are we talking about the average person on the United States? Do you think the average person in the United States is way better than they were 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago? And do you think that these executives, these big companies, these rich people, do you think they are better than they were before? Like, answer me that, please.
So for the first question, I'm not talking about either. I'm talking about math. So when he says we're talking about ethics, you're asking if we're talking about top or bottom. Neither. I'm talking about math. I'm trying to ask a mathematical question so we can finally come to a conclusion on the zero-sum game so that we can get to these other parts of the conversation. But instead of ever addressing the zero-sum game thing, we pivot to these other questions and then say this has something to do with the zero-sum game when it doesn't address any of the arguments that I make each time. It just pivots to something different. And then
it does, though. You just don't see it.
Hey, Tom, you did it again.
You don't have the your
Tom, you did it
perspective
again.
ain't that wide.
Tom, you did it again. 40, 30 years ago, the average worker could afford a house, a car, 2 kids, and all that shit. It doesn't. His salary stagnated. They are literally either a little bit over the inflation or a little bit under the inflation. Money from these executives skyrocketed 30 times, 50 times, 100 times, 150 times. The money is going somewhere. And you can tell me that the average CEO works 230 times more than the guy that is in the factory, right? The money,
sure.
And you are going to look at the economics of that company, and you are going to say, oh my God, Fatty and Inc. is making 70 times more money than they did it 40 years ago. But then when you look at all my workers' wages, their salaries are on the same level or plummeted, while my profits are going 57, 80 times actually higher. So again, like, is that good for the economy? Is that a show of, like, look at how these companies thriving, look at how these countries thriving, or this is a mark of me being ruthless, crony capitalism that puts everything in my bag and I don't want nobody to have it? Like, what is this? Like, what does this measure?
Okay, if we're moving away from the zero-sum game conversation, that's fine. When it comes to the
that's
CEOs,
kind of a zero-sum game,
paid,
Tom.
It's not. A zero-sum game means that in order for one to gain, the other has to lose. That's what a zero-sum game means. It means there can never be both gaining, which is what in our country, in our economy, that is 100% possible for everyone to gain. Our system is not set up to only be a zero-sum game. Now, are there times where by far the majority of people are losing and a small amount of people are gaining? Yes. But that's not what a zero-sum game is. A zero-sum game is where it has to be that way. Our economy is not a zero-sum game. It does not have to be that way. It just happens to be that way sometimes. When it comes to whether or not CEOs make that much, if you go check and see how many employees they have per how much money they have, and you go see, well, if we just get rid of that CEO and divide all that money up amongst the fucking employees, normally the employees will get a couple more cents on every fucking paycheck. It's not going to make a huge difference to them on whether or not they get that fucking paycheck.
You made a mistake, because I don't have to give it to the CEO. I can give the shareholders so they can buy back some stock. That's literally what is happening. The company has 100 million in profit. Those 100 million could go to 100,000 employees, even for them to get by.
I didn't make a mistake. I argued with your
example.
No.
No. Is the redistribution of money, right? And Republicans talk a lot about trickle-down economics. If my company gets $100 million in
trickle-down
profit,
economics is bullshit.
Of course, but if my company gets $100 million in profit, I am going to decide how I'm going to spend that money. That money, like he used to, is not injected. For example, Ford used to put the money on the workers, so everybody in town had a Ford. So now you have literally people in the economy that are your workers buying your products, and this is a way of you can subsidize your company without needing shareholders. These companies that actually are open to the public investment, they usually don't do that. They get the trillion amount in profits every motherfucking 10 years. And instead of those $1 trillion actually going to the people that make the company $1 trillion, they go ahead and they give that shit to the shareholders so they can buy more stock and the company can keep going and going and going and going. This is good for a small amount of people. This is not good for the average Amazon worker that is literally saving himself into a warehouse just for him to be replaced by a robot on the next 5 years. It has nothing to do with the economy overall. It has to do with the greed of certain people. And to be honest, with the economic system. And going back to the food stamp conversation, I can't blame.
But that is beneficial for the company, though. The bailouts are there to keep the company afloat, right? So that all of those people don't lose their jobs. So if the shareholders get it and they use them for stock buybacks to increase the value of their stocks, this is something that is still beneficial for the company to keep the company afloat. This is not something that is just going into their pockets. It's also going into their pockets, but it's also beneficial for the actual company at the end of the day.
How is a stock buyback good for the average man putting my shit in a package on Amazon Prime?
I didn't say that. So you don't respond.
Hey, Tom, this is what you're doing. Hey, Tom, is a semantics game? You
No,
say
no,
this is,
no,
Tom,
no, no. Please,
when you
for
say
love of
this is
God,
good
just
for the
respond to
company,
one thing that I say. At some
No,
point,
I'm
you make
listening
an
to you.
argument. I disprove your argument, and you immediately shift the
Hey, Tom,
goalpost. Immediately,
it's
every
not,
fucking
no,
time.
it's because
don't argue against
you
a
are
single
actually
thing that I say.
it's because you are doing this on purpose. Once you say company, you say like these very run of the mill, but they incorporate a lot of things. Company, right? And if I ask you, what do you mean by company? Are you talking about the average worker on
I
that
said
company?
to stay afloat. I said for the company to stay afloat, the business to not go out of business.
Is Amazon and Tesla worth more than they ever did in history?
Worth more money than they've
Yes.
ever sold?
Yes.
Probably,
Apple,
yeah.
Coca-Cola, Nike. Is it fair to say that on the
You would
last 5
assume so.
years, like the economy almost doubled? Like all these people that have no, I'm not talking with you, Echo. All these people, all these companies that have their company on the S&P 500, the value literally duplicated. And this is not because they sell double, right? It's because they have some financial mechanisms to actually inflate the money to that type of value, right? Did this benefit the average person putting the liquid on a Coca-Cola bottle? Did this benefit the average person making Nike shoes? Did this benefit the average person that works on the Amazon warehouse trying to get my package in time in my house? Do you think it benefits them in any type of way, shape, or form?
What depend if those people, if they give them stocks as part of being part of the company, then yeah. Like a lot of the companies I worked for, they gave me stocks as a regular employee, and they gave these to all of the employees. And so, yes, with stock buybacks, our stocks increase in value, obviously. So yes, but again, the point that I'm making is that it can be that this doesn't benefit them, but that doesn't mean that it hurts them. The idea of the bailouts is to make sure that the company doesn't go out of business. But then you ask, well, does it benefit these people? Well, it makes it to where they don't lose their job, but no, they're not giving those people the money. But if they gave those people the money, then they just wouldn't have jobs because the business would go out of business, right?
I'll leave it at that.
Yes. Wait, right? Yes. No, still not a single answer. A half an hour later, I can't get an answer to a single question. This is
ask the question again.
If they did, instead of the government giving the money to the business, if instead they just gave it all to workers, those workers would each get a small share of this, and then they wouldn't have jobs at that company anymore, and then it would literally benefit nobody, right?
It is good for the economy because the people now have money to buy things, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying is that it would be a very small amount of money, and then they just wouldn't have jobs.
Tom, do you think that company should be able to do stock buybacks and golden parachutes when they get bailouts?
It depends, but I don't know why they wouldn't be able to do stock buybacks.
What does it depend on?
Well, why wouldn't they be able to do stock buybacks?
I'm asking you how you feel about it. Before you ask me another question.
Well, I don't have any reason for them not to be able to.
So you don't have a problem with
stock
that.
buybacks.
So you don't have a problem
No.
with that. Why
No.
not?
Well, I just explained a minute ago that it's like it's beneficial to the company and to the value of the company and to the even the employees who have stocks in the company to gain in value as well.
So the goal of a bailout is to keep the company from going out of business, is what you were just saying, right? Now, if that's achieved by giving them this cash infusion, you don't think that the people that are giving that cash infusion on behalf of the American people should do what Obama did with the auto bailout, take equity in the company up until a certain amount is paid off, number one. And number two, absolutely mandate that you don't give fucking golden parachutes and that you don't have stock buybacks. You don't think that should be mandated? If it's in the best interest of everybody, it's in the best interest of the company, and it's in the best interest of the fucking people. You don't
I'm just going to keep asking the same question. So like if we're saying the bailouts are to make sure that the company exists so that these people don't lose their jobs, right? And stock buybacks are one of the things that help this scenario so that people do not lose their jobs. They do increase value of the company.
No, stop there. How do they help? No, stay there. How do they help the average worker? Again, Tom,
I didn't say. I just said. Tom, please repeat back to me my answer that I gave in 3 times.
I'll repeat it again. I'll repeat it again. You said
answer.
You said he helped the worker keep the job. Is that fair? Is that a fair representation? Right?
Yes.
My question will be this, Tom. Right? Again, you have Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford never made his company public. You know what he did? He increased, like every time he got a lump sum of profit, he will give this money to his workers so his workers could buy his own product and they literally build a whole village, a whole city based on he pay fair wages to these people and to the profits so they can become consumers and the money literally goes back to his hand. He just gives more power to the economy so the people that work for him and the people in the city now, everybody has a Ford, right? How is that worse? Or actually, it's not even worse. How that is clearly good for the people, right? How can you compare, for example, cash buybacks to that? Sorry, stock buybacks to that. How can you compare both? One works, it's clearly for the people. The other one is cash buybacks of these elites that get $1 billion and buy more stocks and can get 2 billion instead of 1 billion. How does that compare with what Henry Ford did?
It doesn't. They're again. Okay, if a company is about to go out of business to where they have to get a bailout in order for everybody not to lose their job, the bailout is there to make sure that the company is able to stay afloat. And one of the ways to help that is with stock buybacks.
Wow, you don't have to say it slower. We heard you say it the first time. You don't have to say it slower.
Nobody's engaging with it. They're just ignoring it and
you're not answering the question.
You
just don't see the bigger picture.
Not answering. Look,
hold on, wait. No, hold on, wait. Just real quick. Does anybody disagree with me saying
for an hour, bro? I've been silent for an hour.
I understand, but do you disagree with me saying that?
I've been silent.
Do you disagree with that?
Hour. Let me.
What do you say?
Do you disagree with that then?
Tom, let me.
Do you disagree with what I'm saying about the stock buybacks?
I didn't listen. So look, because you never answered my question that I asked you before, right? So then you started asking questions. So no, I'm not going to answer a question. Tom, you don't think it's the instances in which companies need bailout? We would agree that these are instances in which the economy itself is in peril, right? We would agree on that, right? Yes. Okay, right. So the economy is in peril, which means the companies are fucked up. But you know who also is fucked up? To Illa's point, fucking humans, people, the people who work for the fucking companies, right? So wouldn't it make more sense instead of saying, you know what, I don't have a problem with stock buybacks? Wouldn't it make more sense to say, you know what, we require you with this money to do profit sharing with the people who work for the company to make the fucking money. While you're going through this process, you're going to do profit sharing with the fucking people that are busting their ass to work for your company every day. Wouldn't that make more sense to you?
Sure, that's
okay. So now we talking.
I don't.
So fuck the stock buybacks.
It's because the stock
No, that
buybacks,
has nothing to do with stock buybacks. Still do the
Tom,
stock buybacks.
the stock
Still do the
buybacks
fucking
don't
stock
stop the stock buybacks. First, don't increase wages, because we've been seeing these stock buybacks been happening for the last 40 years, and the wages stagnated. So the company has more money and has more value, but this money actually doesn't get more wages. And Tom, you know it's funny is when stock buybacks usually happen, more people get fired, which is crazy, right? It's kind of crazy.
No, that's
Hey
what you
Tom,
would
go
think would
ahead
happen.
and look it up. When
That's what you would think would happen.
When
the
there's
point.
stocks buybacks and the investors are getting a tremendous amount of money, and let me actually ask you this, Tommy, so you can understand. You are an investor of a company. I give you $1 million in stock buybacks, and you know for a fact, if I fire Atina, Ila, and John, you get 1.3 million next quarter. What do you think the shareholders are going to ask to the CEO to do? To hire people, to increase their wages, or to fire them so you can make a little bit more of a buck? What do you think happened, Tom?
There should be no.
I say they should just give their employees all the money and just go out of business.
Oh, here we
Let's
go.
just go
Now
with
you're
your idea.
disrespecting what
Let's
I
go with
said.
your idea. Just give it to all the employees and just go out of business.
If you look from the
Just give
standpoint,
it to them.
And this
see
is
what
the
Sean is trying to
part.
say.
Tom, don't do that. You asked me not to do that. Don't do that.
No, it's
Tom.
what you said. It's
Don't
what
do
you said. They
that,
should give it to
Tom.
the
There's-
employees.
Tom,
They should give it
there's
to
a
the
Nick-
employees.
Tom-
I
hey,
agree
Tom,
with you.
Tom,
Go out of
Tom,
business. Give it to the
Tom.
employees.
No, Tom, respectfully, the executives don't have to be making $1 trillion. The shareholders don't have to profit 50% every year. We can get to a happy median where my CEO gets 20 times more than the average people that is actually working on the factory, and the motherfucker still can afford the mansion and the Ferrari, while I can afford my little oopty and my 1-bedroom apartment. All of those can be done. And you know what's funny? You are the one implying a zero-sum game. I didn't say to actually flip the table and to get these motherfuckers to starve while the regular people get money. What I said is I'm in favor of capitalism, not crony capitalism, where the rich are literally smashing on the head of the poor people, while the poor people are literally asking for crumbs while they see the profit every quarter, and that shit keeps going up and up and up and up, and they look at their paycheck and they're like, what the fuck? Where's the money
I'm
going?
sorry. The problem is that
John Henry
you're
and Atina after
bringing up
Tom.
things that are totally irrelevant, which is like stock buybacks and bailouts and shit like that, compared to how much the employees make. These two things are not related whatsoever, and you keep conflating them every fucking time. And I keep trying to explain why they're not the same thing, but you don't engage with that. You just keep asking the same questions for me to give the same fucking answers, but you don't engage with the fact that these are not related. That one is make it to where your company is able to stay afloat, or go out of business and they don't have jobs anymore.
Hold up.
You keep trying to choose the part where they go out of business, and you don't refuse to acknowledge that that's what you're doing every time. But you are suggesting they just go out of business every fucking time.
Hey, friend, no, I'm not. Hey, friends, this man said they are not correlated, while he said that stock buybacks actually help the worker keep the job.
Right.
They are not related. They are not related.
Yeah,
at
that
all.
was dumb as hell.
So they're not related.
They're definitely related. That's crazy.
Yeah, you guys aren't going to engage with it. You're not going to argue.
No, you said it wasn't related. No, don't jump around. You said it wasn't related. It is related.
I said it's not related. Okay,
but it is related. But it is related.
Okay,
but it is related.
Okay,
but it is related.
Here you go.
Holy shit, he's not going to do it. He's a fucking broken record. He will not know how.
It's related.
He doesn't know. He has no fucking idea.
No, you said it's not
related, motherfucker.
How? You said it's not related.
How?
You said it's not related.
How is it related?
All right, so look,
holy shit! How is it? Listen to what I'm saying. How is it related, motherfucker? How?
Hey, Tom, you said these like stock buybacks are good for the company because these people get to keep their jobs. You said it.
So that means that process. Oh my.
So
yo, this the funny thing. Can I talk, yo? This the funny thing, yo. Because you be thinking you really saying something. Yo, it be funny because people be thinking they really saying something, bro.
I got you.
Anything affiliated with a job that's part of your job, it's not your job, but it's related. Like my benefits at my job, it isn't my job, but it's related to my job because through my job, I have access to this service. So stock buybacks out of your mouth affects the worker, which means that working and the stock buybacks are related somehow through the company. That's what makes them related. How you can be related through somebody's mama and dad. So you said that shit and then try to reiterate it like you said something profound. Ain't nobody missed that shit. What you keep missing is you keep looking at life from a dissected way. That's why when we bring up one thing, you don't see how it correlates to the next thing. Because like I tell people all the fucking time, the system has a mindset that makes you dissect things, but you have to make it one. So we don't need you to fucking agree, bro. We talking to the people to see that this is what we be talking about. Tomfoolery type shit. Fuck you talking about. You ain't
You're doing a great
saying nothing
job
deep.
explaining it too. You're
not
doing a
saying
great job
nothing
explaining
deep.
it. I'm sure you're really convincing a whole lot of people.
One second,
Great
Iso.
job.
Let's get the top line, to the top, like the people on top, to talk a little bit, and then we go to the question that is rolling in the bottom. Okay, so I think Sean Antonio had something this related immediately to this, and then John Neri and Tina interrupted. Please, sorry for getting you.
Yeah, Tom, you all were talking about a zero-sum game. Here's a zero-sum game. A company has $1 billion in profit. Now they can either give distributions to their shareholders, or they can say, you know what, we want to give distributions to our people who work for us because they're hurting too. Do you would agree that would be a zero-sum game, right? Because every dollar that they give to shareholders, you can't share with your employees, right? That would be zero-sum, right?
That part, sure.
Yeah, so that it's correlated.
Okay.
There's a correlation right there.
Yes, and Sean, even worse. And I'm
What
sorry.
did that have-
Why you looking at me?
Well, 1 second, please. Tom. No,
it's
yes, dude,
ignoring what
because
I said,
Tom,
but okay.
every time if Sean is my investor, every time I give him $1 is one less dollar that I can spend on infrastructure, that I can expend on innovation, that I can expand of getting a better warehouse, a better restrooms for the ladies and for the gentlemen. Every single dollar you give to the shareholders is one less dollar that you're not giving to the people, not even directly, but to the people that are literally working behind you, like below you day to day. So respectfully, they are definitely correlated. Absolutely. Like we just need a better cut, like the not 20-80, let's go 70-30, so these people can still be rich and all these people can afford the shit they do. John, Henry, Atina, and then we go to the question in the bottom. I think is going to be an interesting one. Go ahead, John. You got it. I'm sorry for
back up on what Shaw was stating not getting between him and Tom. And I'm just going to say this from the standpoint, if we look at it from when a company gets a buyout, my perspective is that once the buyout is in place, anyone who is a CEO in that corporation who was supposed to be the manager to ensure that bankruptcy did not occur should not be allowed to buy back stock. Right? That is just what Sean was alluding to, and that's what I will say in this particular instance. The buyout, yes, it is good. It is to ensure, Tom, to your point, and what everyone else is trying to say on this side of the coin, that it is good for the buyout to keep the company in business. But here's where I disagree. It is bad to sit there and allow someone to come back in after you run your company to the ground. You get a buyout, then you get stock buyback. Hell no,
it's criminal.
Yeah,
hey,
again,
you know how much is criminal is I rob the bank and I use the money that I rob on the bank to bail me out. Hey, can I get that back real quick? Oh, $5,000 video.
Build an extension, build a wing to it or something like that. Like, wait a minute, aren't you the one that took the money? Yeah, but you know, it's no big deal. I mean, everybody wins, right?
Great.
No. So that's the only aspect that I'll make about it here is that no, if there's a buyout, ain't no damn way anybody who's responsible, like Enron, ain't no damn way there should be golden parachutes and people dipping, taking cash. And there's already employees who lost their money, who lost their savings. Ain't no hell way that should even be allowed. But again, this is where I was talking about the conversation being conflated back and forth. This is what we're talking about right now. There is merit in that. But the problem here is that when you're talking this type of conversation we're having, you can either be one of two things. You can be right or you can be correct. Being right is a moral thing. All right. So therefore, if there's a perspective that you have based on because you just believe, that's going to be hard to move someone off that square. But being correct, that is centered around facts.
And
now,
by the way, John, and he's incentivizing people to play dirty too. What you said right now, if I look up and I see all these people above me playing dirty, why should I play fair? Right? Like, imagine that I'm food stamps, right? And I'm looking at all these people getting money from American citizens, getting the money, getting themselves a yacht. Like remember when everybody was closed on COVID and people were literally buying mega yachts to go in the middle of nowhere to stay there for like, and people couldn't even afford houses. People were cutting jobs, firing people, and all that. Every time there's a bailout, is a massive restructure. They literally make you fire everybody, cut every motherfucking fat so you can maintain the car. Like, why would I play nice if, like you said, all these people are literally playing? See what I'm saying? Like, there's no incentive
because
there.
you enter a moral. See, this is where you enter. Hence why I said I made it
The
clear.
moral.
You can either be right or you can be correct. Now, in this sense of what you're saying, we're talking about it becomes a moral thing. Whereas, wait a minute, if you're going to cheat me, and no matter what I do, I'm going to be left at a shortfall. Well, shit, I'm going to go ahead and get it in also. That's what you literally see, but that doesn't mean that it's correct. However, that does not mean that you sit there and take being shorted either. This is the case of, do you fight fire with fire or do you fight fire with water? Take your pick on the situation.
But you just proved, but what you just explained, brother, if we are honest, that's not the nature of this country for at least the last 70 years or so. Like that principle has not been the undergirding philosophy of America.
But notice I did not start specifying.
No, I'm not. I just asked you. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that?
Okay. I agree. Of course, it has not been. But again, that was not my point I was making.
No, I know. I just wanted that on the record because that's a constant. Because no matter what because I like to deal with the root. Because we could go mad places, but I like to get to the root of it. That's the undergirding of everything. Is immoral, corrupt system. People that's gotten money unfairly in the first place, and they have a monopoly on everything. Because the real problem in this. Go ahead. Somebody was gonna talk.
Yeah, that's not a moral thing. That is correct. See, that's the fact. What you're saying with moral corrupt? No, this is not a moral thing we're talking about. This is a fact. If you go back and look at how this country's been put together, it was never intended for anyone of color to rise to the top. It was never intended for anyone of color to sit at the top of the great institutions. Although we did see that one time with Barack Obama per se. But no, the fact that we're talking about is not moral. It is correct that it has never been designed for people of a certain stature or a certain color to rise above. That part right there is correct. So yes, this entails, it goes into what you're saying, Ella. This is the one part that I can't agree with you on. This has been a setup from the very beginning. When you look at where we live, if you ever check out a book called The Color Code or whatnot, it talks about even looking at where blacks live and where whites live. People think it's just an accident that blacks live on one side of town and whites live on the other. No, that was a construct. There was a reason that it was done that way. The same thing when we look at business, what we're talking about right now. Again, when a company goes down and you bail that company out, hell no, anyone who's responsible for that company going into the ground should not be getting benefits. There should be no parachutes. There should be no stock buyback. There shouldn't be anything that these guys can take for themselves and go and start another company. So what I'm saying is that's not a moral thing here. That is correct. That is wrong. That is
make it worse, John. They should never be in any executive position of a company that is deemed too big to fail. It's done for you. You know when when you fuck up something and they say you are barred from doing business in because you did some bullshit. If you fuck up a company that is too big to fail, there's no way that you can go from Facebook to Amazon, from Amazon to Netflix, from Netflix, and you're all on these S&P 500 companies, and you literally lose nothing because you know a friend that knows a friend, and all of a sudden you bankrupt this position, and now you get another company. No, that's not what it happens. You should be barred from doing whatever the fuck you do, because this is what happened when people fuck up royalty. You are a lawyer and you did this. The state of New York, like, didn't they do that shit to Trump? Because Trump lied on his taxes, right? But there's the parties. These are not crimes because they are legal, kind of, right? But they are deeply immoral. And one thing that doesn't go together is capitalism and morality. You can't put that shit on the same pocket. That shit is going to fuck up your pants. Go ahead, Tina.
So I have a few points to make, so bear with me. I'll try not to monologue. One is every time they do bailouts, right after that, they proceed to do a lot of layoffs. They lay off a lot of people, yet all the people who are still there are expected to perform the same, but that now they have multiple jobs. And I know a lot of people who have been a part of like working for these companies that had these big bailouts. And so I agree with y'all. The people who are essentially running the company into the ground, they shouldn't have a job after a bailout. Like, you're out, period. And then there was a study that showed that the top people in these companies are not performing. They're not doing anything. They're sitting around just earning money. Bailout, leave. Bankruptcy, leave. That's what they do to make money. So that was my first point. There was a lot of points. I've been waiting to speak.
We have time. Okay. Go ahead. It's fine.
So another one is about the education system. So it essentially pumps out workers. People are not thinking for themselves. They think, oh, I go to school, I get an education, I go to work. That's the only way that they think they can make it in this world. This is why I'm so against public schools, and I advocate for homeschooling. Because in homeschooling, you can actually teach your children critical thinking skills. They can create their own business. So all of these people are going from job to job to job, but they're firing them. They're finding any excuse to keep them from getting the benefits. It's not like how it used to be. Trickle down doesn't work anymore. And I'm coming from a very extreme conservative view, and I still agree with y'all. That's the only thing I remember that I wanted to say. I don't remember the rest.
So I actually disagree with you. I think the stay at home shit is ridiculous. Most of y'all are not. The political channel is opening in 3 days. Homeschooling is only good. Is as good as the person that is teaching the people.
There you
that
go.
Is
and
true. Hold on. But the reason why, that's why they have homeschool co-ops, because a lot of us moms, we understand we want our children to get a good homeschool education, but it is illegal to homeschool somebody else's children unless you have certain certifications. The government this is why I'm against big government. But homeschool co-ops allow mothers to essentially teach kids 3, maybe 4 days out of the week. They all rotate on one thing that they're good at. Even if they're not good at teaching, they will either walk around and watch the kids on the playground, help with cleaning, help with meal prep, and all of that stuff. So we're coming together as a community. A lot of these issues that we're seeing is because there's a lack of community, and because we are relying so much on big government, who is
no, that's fair, right, Tina? But this is the problematic part. And then John and Illogical can go after me, right? So this is the problematic part. I'm going to take my kid from school because his music teacher is teaching him how to play the YMCA with the flute, and I'm against that shit. And then he goes home, and the only thing that you can teach him is the Titanic, right? Like, you have to know what you're doing. I'm sorry.
So these homeschool co-ops, the women who lead them, they know what they're doing.
No, Athena, but there's the thing that used to work when we have the village, right? There was this person that was very good at plumbing, so they will teach all the kids to plumb. And there was this person that was very good with cutting wood, so we all say, "Oh, Mr. Rogers, he knows to cut wood. Let's go there." Most of us are incompetent. After the 3rd grade or 4th grade level, most of these parents are useless. And you know what?
Homeschool co-op is?
No, Athena, I know. But I'm talking about what is happening, not what it should be, right? You know what happens to these kids? And everybody can attend to this. These kids that are being homeschooled for 7, 10 years, when they get outside, they get wrecked. They are socially awkward.
They don't know how to talk with people. They are academically not way better than the other people that literally went to other school. Like you see it, Tina.
Statistically not true. Homeschooled children perform so much better. We might be awkward because I was homeschooled for a bit. I know that I'm awkward and I'm quirky.
Tina, Tina, I don't want to be messy, and I'm not going to be messy. There's a guy from our space from Milwaukee. Motherfucker loves this homeschooling shit. Right? What I'm telling you is this once again, if you are going to push the homeschooling thing, what happens is the standard, which is the bare minimum, is going to be ridiculously different from people to people. You are going to have people like Ila that's going to have his kid, and the kid is going to be overachieving or a little bit above average. And you are going to have people like the biggest dumbass on the planet raising the same kids because homeschooling.
You know what homeschool co-op is? That's the point of homeschool co-op.
You're both right,
Is
though.
homeschool
You're both
co-op
correct,
illegal,
though.
Latina?
No, it's
You're
not.
both right, though. You're both right.
Wait,
like
what?
it is the kids
Homeschool
who go
co-ops
to
are not
homeschool-
illegal.
Yeah, they're not illegal.
Wait. When you say co-op, meaning
So we all come together, all the mothers come together, and we take what we're best at. So the ones who are like, they can't teach past first grade, they're the ones cleaning up, cooking, watching the kids during recess, while all the other ones, like myself, actually teach the kids. There's a reason why you come together, because everyone has strengths and weaknesses, right? And so,
and
hold on, I'll just say one more thing. This way, women can still work part-time when they're doing homeschool co-op, because they come 1, maybe 2 days out of the week. Everyone does that.
But this
And
goes
so
to what this goes to. I just please, and I'm for it because I'm manipulating the microphone. This goes to what grade exactly? Let's go. I agree with you. Fourth grade. Fourth grade. Perfect. I'm very okay with the grown man
It's the
teaching
whole way through,
1
bro.
+ 1 equal to, like, I'll get it right. Let's go with the
most of these women have their degree. They have their bachelor's or master's.
I have a PhD. I have a Athena, the woman that rage quit from the show as a PhD. She couldn't even get a back and forth between 2 minutes before she got aggravated.
Those women aren't the same as the women who invest in their children.
The dumbest people that I met in my life,
that is the
I
point,
met them
that's
in
his
college
point.
because they thought they were intelligent because they had the degree, but they actually were dumbasses. They couldn't even they were good at looking at something and memorizing that shit. They couldn't explain how they got there. They only got the afterthought. They never got. So you are telling me, Tina, and respectfully, because the American system is very underfunded, right? I literally went to my college. I paid with the Pizza Hut job, like I financed, and the college is here is not a prestige. Like it's not like a if you go to a,
it's not good.
Right, but looking at the American system and assume its flaws, right? How can you know what? I don't even have a question. Henry, and I think Hila was going to say something and tomfoolery. John Henry was waiting for a second, and then you guys go.
Yeah, I'll let Illa go first because I've already had a chance. He just left and came back, so I'll drop the mic on him first.
Nah, you go ahead because I spoke a lot. You can go ahead. And I think Tom wants to say something. I'll come in after you.
All right, so going back to that, what Athena is saying about homeschooling, the problem here, Athena, is that what people aren't being told by you is that you're not telling them where you're getting your curriculum from. And that's the whole issue here where we talk about homeschooling, because what people don't seem to understand, she says she hates public schools. The thing here is that the segregationists have been trying since 1954, since Brown versus the board, to get rid of public schooling because of the fact that it's still a thing of we don't want our children going to school with those people. That's always been the case. School choice has been a segregationist movement since the 50s for the most part. If people are not aware of this, but that is what it's always been about. And only folks who are part of that movement will make faces and say, well, that's not true. But when you look at it, think of places like PragerU. Who here has ever heard of PragerU?
I love PragerU.
We all know.
PragerU is great.
Oh, shit.
Okay, I rest my case. There you go. So
hey,
PragerU
is so good. That's Trump University. They are very high. Go ahead,
Yeah,
John.
so
PragerU is not even. First of all,
People
PragerU
used
is
to
not.
homeschool their kids. Like the public education system was literally
Athena,
so that
may
they
I
could
finish
put
my
more.
point here? I was in the process.
Yeah,
It
I'm
wasn't-
sorry. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, it wasn't point you power. I'm making my point here. PragerU is number one, not an accredited university. Never has been. Number two, PragerU is affiliated with the Heritage Foundation, along with folks who are responsible for Project 2025. They build and distort history and then teach that to children who are in conservative spaces. And therefore, when you look at people talking about curriculum and they talk about homeschooling, these are the folks who are primarily affecting the homeschooling that you're seeing right now. So therefore, me personally, I will say that homeschooling is not a bad concept if you look at where the curriculum is coming from and if it's going to be realistic and work within the guidelines of society and the people who also attend. I'll drop it there.
And Athena, just to make sure that you understand, I think everybody on the panel is okay with kind of saying the educational system is shit. We need to replace it. But it's like me saying the healthcare system is shit. You should go to that cave. There's a witch over there. She's going to heal you from your cancer, right?
She'll probably do better than a doctor.
You see it? You get
Okay, Athena, let me add this in here also. So right now I'm in the middle of my
and then
doctorate.
Medical error is the third leading cause of death in the United States. But
it's much higher with bathtub kidneys and shit like that. So,
So you're going to
I
do
was
it?
homeschooled.
Okay, I'm not talking about surgery.
I was homeschooled for a long time. Okay. And I do understand. I went to we had a Christian homeschool group that we went through and everything as well. The thing is that yes, you are correct that homeschool kids end up with higher GPAs and higher test scores in college and things like this. But the problem is that is an average. There is a what is it called? A bell curve that shows that there are some kids that exceed a lot, and then there's a lot of kids that do way worse because of it. And so when we're talking about encouraging more people to get into this, one of the things that you talked about is the fact that there's a lot of women who are in this right now that are very dedicated to it and that they have this lifestyle that is pushing this. That is not that it is for a specific type of lifestyle. It's for a specific type of person, or a specific type of family. And when we advertise this is what everybody should be doing, a lot of families get into this that should not be fucking doing it because they don't have the time to put into it, and they don't have they don't have the ability or know-how either. And so it is for a very specific type of people, and it is very beneficial to those kids who have those families. But then there's the other families that are not going to put in the effort. They think this is just kind of a way to get away with things a little bit easier, and it ends up fucking over their kids pretty drastically.
But I think those are the people who don't partake in the homeschool co-ops. And then there's so many social media groups for homeschoolers, and women will sit and talk about which is the best curriculum.
Curriculum, Athena, we're still not. We know that you like
which
the group,
is the
but
best
again,
curriculum. I have mothers come to me all the time. What curriculum do you use?
Many where you have the worst curriculum ever that teaches. Where again, I quote, and if everyone saw the video of Christopher Columbus, well, isn't it better to be a slave than to be dead? Now, this is a PragerU documentation asking where Christopher Columbus says to kids, well, would you rather be dead or be a slave?
I would need to see that.
Athena, I got you, Willa. Athena, this is like, Athena, think about it. You are opening a can of worms that you can close. I'm a lefty. I get one of raging I get a raging feminist that likes rainbow things, and she thinks men are woman and all these things. And now I have a co-op of kids that think just like me, and everybody's an emo and experience things that this is a stereotype, right? But the thing is that you are going if you are going to do that, and you are going to say, I believe that people should raise their kids on their community their way instead of a kind of a standardized system when people can just be free to then deviate when they're growing up. You are going to create the same people that you are complaining, because when y'all leave your motherfucking co-ed and now everybody's in college, now you are going to put in place the same people that you complain, the same people that were on those college campus when Charlie Kirk was debating, the same people that you said that I think it's okay for you to get the education that is customized to the parents' worldview. I think actually that will be a disservice because there's more people like me than there are like you. There's more people like me that believe in the things that you don't believe than like you. So when
And the
everybody
people
comes,
like you put their kids in public school. And that's exactly why the people like me don't put our kids in public school. We
You
will
said
do
teach them to be
anything
like
to
Charlie
either
Kirk.
homeschool or Christian private school.
Again, you teach them to be like Charlie
Illa,
Kirk.
go next, please.
I love Charlie Kirk. He was amazing.
right.
Well, as somebody
Say
with
no more.
ADHD and with ODD,
Hey, Illa, do that first
I
again.
can tell you, I highly benefited from going to public school. Public school was a drastic benefit for me. As soon as I started going to public school, the first thing that the teachers did is call my parents in within like the first 2 weeks of me being in public school. Called my parents in and they were like, "This kid's got like some learning disabilities. He's got like ADHD
They
and blah
thought you
blah
were a school
blah." I
shooter.
went to a doctor. I was put on medication. Drastically changed my ability to actually do my homework, do my classwork, pay attention. I was incapable of doing these things before. I once I got to a certain age, I stopped taking ADHD medicine. Just last year, I realized I was struggling with a lot of my work, even my content creation. Went back onto my ADHD medication. At like fixed fucking everything that I was having problems with. Just kind of fixed it just like that because like ADHD is a massive struggle for people who are, especially with drastic ADHD. My sister had dyslexia, same thing. Being homeschooled was a real problem for her. As soon as she got into public school, they had way more resources for her. They had way more help for her that my mom wouldn't have known about or wouldn't have even thought about.
It's like those dog
How old
owners
were
that
you when
think-
you started that medication?
I was
Was Fatty just talking anybody? I hear
No, it's
something.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. I was
Huh?
saying it's like those dog owners that think they are good dog owners, and then when they put on the dogs on those kindergarten for dogs, the dog doesn't want to come home, and they try to get the dog leg, and the dog doesn't want to get out of the motherfucking bus. I'm telling you, Matina, you are going to be horrified when these people get to the open market, and now I punch you in the face because you are not. Like, you are not on a level of competition that is like you are on your little redome.
Ain't nobody punching me in the face.
You are on the little lake. Once those fishes come in the ocean, I think the kids that are actually outside are going to take their breakfast away. Let's get Ilkan interrupted, and then Sean Antonio about this homeschooling thing, and then please and then please let's answer the question on the back, rolling on the bottom, please, if that was possible. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead, Ilkan, and then Sean. Sorry.
All right, I'm be quick. I think everybody made decent points. I think the misnomer a lot of people have is people have always been homeschooling their children, whether you know it or not. And I think when you see successful children, those are the children that are getting schooled at home. Homeschooling does not necessarily mean curriculum based. It means that you're imparting information that's not being taught in that school that's more pertinent to your child daily. Now, I think in the Black community as opposed to the white community, for lack of a better term, not to say those are what we describe each other as, but just for general purposes, Black and white people have always been homeschooling. They've always been teaching their children things. I think Black people, we haven't been doing that as much. You know what I'm saying? We depend too much on the public school system and not have information of our own to give our children for how we want them to think and how we want to shape them. I think when you look at a lot of these extreme views, they're the products of homeschooling. They're products of getting information despite what's going on. But the problem with the public schools is it's not a lot of teachers that care anymore, because I do think public school in this ideal sense can be better because you're exposed to other people. You're exposed to other diverse backgrounds. You have to deal with things right on the fly. You have to know how to you have to socially know how to appropriate yourself in the era that you're in. And school teaches you that. Like, I know people who, when they went away to a school far away, they had an adjustment period when they came back to regular society. But one thing about public school is it kind of makes you hip to things, and at the same time you learn how to socially interact. So I think there's a positive way you can benefit from both. But the problem is people have to homeschool their children regardless, because that's what people are doing anyway. What you're dealing with out here is the ideologies of people's parents or the lack thereof. So they got the ideologies from society, but people been doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I am so glad that I was homeschooled for a bit because I look at all of the people that I know and that went to public school their entire life. I went to military school when I was really young because my father was in the military, very different than public schools. And then I went to a private school for a little bit, homeschooled for a little bit, and then went to public school. And I'm so glad because I'm glad I'm set apart. I'm glad I'm not like the rest of them because I look at their lives. I would not want to be anything like them.
Yeah,
So
but
yeah, that's the reason why we
Sean goes,
homeschool.
like before Sean goes, right? And Tina, say pineapple if you don't want to answer these. What do you excel exactly that makes you so much better than all these people? Because, for
What do you
example,
mean excel in? Just morally, I think that I am
Well,
glad
you were
that
saying
I
that
had
you
those.
teach the classes and other parents don't. And so he's saying, like, what is it that you're doing better that makes you
you said
capable of
morally,
teaching
so you
these
think
classes?
you think
She said morally, Tom.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
said
know, but
morally. That's what I was
I think he
referring.
was
No,
asking
as
a
far as
different
what I
question.
teach, like math and science are what I'm best at. Because my degree was in biotechnology. So math and sciences are where I do best in.
Did you take a
Yeah, my
degree
mom
on
had like a master's in teaching.
Didn't you
as
went to a
well.
college?
Yes, I went to a college.
Everybody was Orthodox Christian and
No,
So
no.
what the hell are you talking about, Tina? This is what I'm talking, Tina. Virtue signaling has to stop at this point. This is what happens. These kids will go to school, they do some dumb shit, they go to college, they become hyper liberal, and they go ahead and they go to the workforce, and then they go ahead and they get beaten until they die conservative. You're born liberal, die conservative. There's literally the most, like the most people go through these phases, right? We are for everything and they're against everything because life just put us like that. So you
Grow
are
up
telling, like,
conservative, turn liberal, die
Can I
conservative.
add in something real quick, Fatty? Because I got
absolutely.
Because then I got to slide because I think could allude to a different conversation I had on a different platform. The problem is we're heading to a place as a society where our beliefs are the problem. I think
Right,
we
that's
need to
correct.
find a societal place where it's a belief neutral zone. I think our beliefs is what's causing a lot of isms and schisms because we bring our beliefs to the conversations instead of just dealing with, because when you're dealing with homeschooling, you're going to run into someone's beliefs because their parents going to teach them a guy is this, or their parents going to teach them that they believe in this religion. It's the beliefs that's going to cause the clash. And I think that's what people be scared of when it comes to, are you qualified to be a homeschool? Because they want to know, what beliefs are you going to instill in your children? And that's when things
great
get
point.
that's when things get weird. So I think as a society, based on everything that has happened factually and actually, I think we need to literally have places. I'm talking about like malls, stadiums. Like we need to have like a rule that says this is a belief neutral zone. I think that's what we need. People bring their beliefs with them all the time. Like if you have a different lifestyle, sexual gender, you don't have to bring it with you. It's your business, your private business. If you are a big supporter of MAG or whatever, you don't have to have a big flag. If you are a Christian, you don't have to have a big old watchtower pamphlet. It's like we need to just find a place where we can be belief neutral and just understand the basic needs of the common man.
And
That's
A
all.
safe zone. You need a
Yes.
safety blanket.
Hell yeah, because people bring too much
you know
their
what's
shit to
funny?
the world.
Hey, you know what's funny? This is actually, even though we kind of say that China keeps putting their beliefs on their kids and all that, they do competency over all. You are going to be a competent kid. You are going to learn math. You are going to learn how to dribble. You are going to learn how to write. You are going to learn how to shit. And once you become a competent person, yeah, I'll give you some liberties about what you can believe or not believe. That actually thought is 100%. We rather pick a person that looks and thinks and believes just like us, but is extremely incompetent, than get another person that on the other side of the aisle that is extremely competent, but might believe on one thing that you might believe in a different God or in a different whatever lifestyle, whatever it is. And this is actually the difference between, I think, our parents and our generation. Competency was king. I don't care what the fuck you believe in. If you can't change that tire, motherfucker, you're not touching my car. Now, are you a Trump supporter? oh, I saw a rainbow flag. No, the motherfucker is a good mechanic. He can fix your car. Like, what does it matter if that person doesn't believe or doesn't vote the same way or they have an alternative lifestyle? Can they perform and they fix their job? This is
Bro,
how
my
you
parents
get.
were growing up with people who still didn't want to hire black people. What are you talking about?
Because
Damn.
hey, Tom, there's actually a great point, but that doesn't disprove the majority. People inside of community.
Well, I'm saying it's always been this way. I'm saying it's a part of culture. Like, people want to be around other people that share cultural values with them and that speak the same language as them and say things similar to them and think things. Yeah.
Absolutely. But the reality is, and once again, once the country becomes segregated and once the world kind of in the West becomes segregated, you are going to put black people in positions of power. And this is what is happening right now. There was no billionaires, black people 30 years ago. There was no business owners for the most part. You are kind of seeing an increase of overachieving black people that finally can get their shit, not because they are black or white, but because they were extremely competent and the windows were open. On the basic level, I would understand that you are, or not on the basic level, on an overall level, I believe, of course, that you being a person that looks like me will open doors. I believe too that more than ever, if I ever overqualified black person, that person has way more chances that get the job, like for example happened with Obama, than will ever happen on the history of mankind. And you know where you seeing these? Aren't people complain about the dudes from New York that doesn't look like them? They still think like that. Dude got the job. What is the name of the dude? The
Mom Donnie?
Yes. Right?
Oh, Zaman.
Yes. Like that this is the first time, this is in my opinion one of the first time in history where people, especially the people that are a little bit older, are kind of saying, you know what, motherfucker doesn't look like me, but if he's competent, it is what it is. I don't think he was elected.
Sure, but New York is a different place. I grew up in New York City. Like, I grew up a minority in New York
Can I ask
City.
you something?
Like,
what is the mainstream? People that live in big cities or people that live in small inner city, or it's not inner cities, not small, like people that actually, what is the reflection of the overall population? People that live in LA, New York, Chicago, like, or people that just like little bubbles where you can find people in other
New York, California, and Texas are like half the fucking country, but the majority of people live in cities. Yeah.
Yes. So that's what we're focusing on, because of course I can go on Mississippi and still face the same things that probably my parents would face if they were on the same era. I just think that if you actually zoom out, this internet generation is the one that keeps trying to associate themselves with people that think and look just like them. This is not people that believe in what they believe, instead of focusing on the level of competence. If a Republican president is extremely competent, I would have no problem with it. Even if he comes from a Democrat point of view, I believe that John Henry and Sean Antonio are more on the lefty side. If there was a very competent, even if it was Donald Trump, if Donald Trump was doing a tremendous job and getting healthcare for everybody and getting affordable college and getting things put in place and war stopped and all that, I think most people will say, you know what? That motherfucker doesn't believe in what I believe. Motherfucker doesn't represent me, in my opinion, on how he moves himself, but he's doing good for the American people. So we're going to vote on him, and it is what it is. Right now,
that is not the case.
Right now is not the case. So I would go with that. Sean Antonio, do you want to say anything on this thing? And then we're probably going to read the super chats and close it out. Because I have one. Let me ask this question to you. Let me ask you this question then, John. Sorry, Sean, we want to say something?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I just want to make sure. Let me ask you this question that is rolling on the bottom. So, does the government owe its citizen support, or should every adult be responsible no matter how hard life is?
Yes.
Go ahead, Sean. My bad. You haven't talked in a while, bro.
Yes, the government does owe its citizens support because the government is funded by the citizens. So it's not even that it owes us support, it's that purchasing, we're making an investment in that safety net. So I don't even like the term "oh" necessarily, because it makes it seem like it's something that we're not invested in. So yeah,
It's
the
our
government.
money.
You know what's so funny, Fatty? When you talk about the universal health care and when you talk about the benefits to living where you live and being where you're from, that is investing in your people. That's investing in your people's health. That's investing in their morale. That's literally investing in your people. Those are inalienable rights. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is what it should look like. It should look like, your government is behind you. Your government has your best interest at heart. All this bootstraps talk has never been true. It's just not fucking true.
You know why it's never been true? Because if you look at the people that right now are running the world, they had a rich father or a rich brother. Like you look, the meritocracy and pull yourself by the bootstraps would be Elon Musk if he didn't have the dad that he had. Who would be Donald Trump if he didn't have the dad that he had?
Elon also
Right?
had Chinese money. Don't forget that. It's not just his dad, it's who backed him.
So the bootstraps things a lot of time is I have access to a good lawyer and a good accountant, and these motherfuckers do wizardry with whatever we have going on. I never get caught in some loopholes. I never have to overpay. I can hide my place and park my money in a place where I know is not dangerous and going to thrive. All of it is the right people, and the right people actually putting down whatever you have going on, because you can't tell me that Donald Trump is running, like even Elon Musk, right? As intelligent that the motherfucker is, you can tell me that man is not running seven companies. Like it's important. Like I'm sorry, you're running Tesla and Neuralink and Starlink and the rocket one, and like is you are not doing it. You are putting people
Money
in
pays for
positions.
people to do that.
Yes.
One more thing I think that needs to be said on this. We always hear people say that billionaires pay this crazy amount of taxes, but people don't specify. Billionaires don't really pay income tax. They don't. They borrow against their assets.
Yes.
They get margin loans. You know what I'm saying? They get security-based lines of credit. They don't have taxable incidences because they're not W-2 employees. They're
Warren
not.
Buffett clarified that. Exactly.
Right. We got to stop saying that they pay when we have to stop saying they pay their fair share of taxes. We all pay sales taxes. It's the consumption taxes. We pay those, right? Great. But they don't pay their fair share of income taxes. And that shit is not fair. You know what I'm saying? Because their companies
the weight
down the drain, we bail them out. You know what I'm saying? Now we want to inject liquidity into their companies. And that's some bullshit.
And to me,
I mean, we don't
oh,
have
go
a
ahead, Tom.
wealth tax. Well, we don't have a wealth tax, and that's like what would make the difference. It is like it's a very like subjective thing, because when it comes to like fair share, I think it's something like the top 1% pay about 30% of our overall taxes, and the top 10% pay about 65% of our overall taxes. So it's like they are paying the majority, by far the majority of the taxes, just by the top 10% of the country. But they also end up with like a lot more benefits, like even simple things like building roads. Like the majority of the time that we're using roads to go and fucking consume something, or we're using those roads to have somebody else deliver shit to us, or get DoorDash or something like that. Or the majority of the highways are filled with trucks that are going and delivering it. Excuse me. I always start losing my voice by the end of these fucking panels. But yeah, they're delivering it's a bunch of 18-wheelers delivering all of their products all over the place. And so it is stuff that like they end up with a disproportionate amount of use of the resources and utilities as well that the government is paying for. And so it ought to be that they pay like a disproportionate amount.
When you say, again, Tom, I don't want to put intention on things, because I say this all the time. Don't put intention when people say things, right? All these people, percentage-wise, are not paying more taxes than a middle-class person. Even if you put it all together and say 70-60% of taxes are being paid by the rich, if you actually look at the bracket where they are, you would say that a person like Tom Foolery making $200,000 on YouTube is paying way more taxes than the average billionaire that, like Sean said, doesn't have no taxable event. It doesn't have a salary. Like, it was Elon Musk bragging about, oh, I don't have a salary. Oh, I don't even have a house. I sleep on my friend's house and da. That's all nice and all that, but for the most part, we know how they get money. And Sean, like, hit it on, like, once you get enough money to play the game, now is the bank problem to make you pay back. Once you get the mansion that is worth 20 million, you go to the bank and you say, hey, friends, I have this $20 million asset. I want a loan that is 1%, and I have this house to back it up. So if I don't pay it, you are going to have something that you actually can get from me. Once you get on that type of status, now is the bank problem to try to actually get your asset, because not on this 20 million type of order, but 200 million, a billion, like these big numbers. Now your bank is very invested in getting that motherfucking back, because if it doesn't, it's going to be problems. So I don't think that people that are become overly rich are more competent than people that are poor by a billion degrees of separation. I think that they got the money to kind of move in on the right direction. And as soon as you make money in the United States, and this is one thing that I actually learned on the last 5 years, is only difficult to get in the club. As soon as you get enough assets sparks for you to actually move the way that you want to move, is so difficult to lose if you are patient. The people that are losing are betting, are gambling their money away, are trading crazy amounts of money. $1 trillion of crypto got liquidated Friday because Bitcoin, Congratulations.
Smashing their computer screens and throwing chairs through the glass.
Congratulations. You are a gambler. You are gambling your livelihood away. So now you get the problems that the regular gambler gets when he goes to the casino when he doesn't win. But for the most part, if you know where to, and once you should be entitled to food stamps, because I believe that people that lose in life have a right to the safety net. I
was saying that you would have to have a wealth tax to be able to tax them. So like because Elon,
Bernie Sanders have that.
Bernie
Sanders have that on the, like, if when he was running, right? Because now the progressives sound like they're kind of like a little bit wobbly. But Bernie Sanders have the progressive tax. After you make $1 billion as a company or as a
we already have a progressive tax bracket.
Yeah, but this progressive tax was a little bit more aggressive, meaning I think it was the $1 billion mark or something like that. You made $1 billion.
He wanted a wealth tax.
Yes, you made $1 billion. Congratulations. Everything above $1 billion is going to be taxed at the 80-90%, so we can actually take care of everybody. So people were saying that goes against like capitalism, and companies will leave the country and all that. Respectfully, taxes in Europe are way more aggressive. You see a bunch of McDonald's, a bunch of Burger Kings. Everybody has Apple phones. Everybody has the same service.
Most people don't understand how that works, because it's not that you would get taxed that much on your overall income.
Yes, it's above.
Like, it's
above said line.
Above. Yeah, so like it's if you split up that money over the course of a year, what is like 100? Was it like, let's say it's 200 million a month? You get like each time however much you've made that month, or sorry, so far through the year, that's the bracket that you're in so far. So if I only make a couple thousand in the first month, I'm in the bottom tax bracket so far. So I get taxed the bottom tax bracket. It's once I get into the top tax bracket, that's when I get the top tax
progressive tax
for the
yes,
year.
Is the progressive tax.
So
yes.
So I only
the problem
get it in like the latter half of the year most of the time.
So the problem with that, Tom, is like the fund the police bullshit. Is the branding. Like, it's very easy for you to fumble people. Go ahead, Tina.
I wish there was something, and y'all know I've said that I'm very against like big government, but I wish there was something where the CEO could only earn like maybe 100 times whatever his bottom paid person earns. Like if there was a cap, then they would have to pay their people because trickle down is just not working. There's too many loopholes. And I know that's not the best answer, but there has to be something. I don't personally know what it is.
Athena.
Economics is not my.
Athena, why are you a communist?
Brother.
I am not a communist.
Why are you pushing communist agenda?
I'm not pushing communism.
Capping my earnings
Stop
on
it.
100 times more than my employees, Athena. Why are you a
You know the
communist?
problem with that,
There has to be a forced way to essentially force trickle down because these companies have been so they just lay off.
Earlier
They
you said
expect
trickle down
more from
doesn't
their
work
people
anymore. You said
Huh?
earlier, you said trickle down economics doesn't work anymore.
I know. I know.
At what point
It
did
never
trickle
worked.
down ever work? Yes, it was never a thing. It never worked ever. It was
was a
never a
The
thing that ever.
idea of it is great, but it doesn't work in
Trickle
practice.
down economics
Right.
work.
Okay, so yeah,
when
so it
you
never worked. It
introduce-
was never a thing that worked. Okay,
Yeah,
just
but
earlier
trickle-
you said it doesn't work anymore, and since then I've been wondering when you
but
thought
that's-
it
but
worked.
that's the thing, right, Thomas? Trickle down economics works when you actually insert morality in business. That's why Henry
Yes.
Ford is a great example. Henry Ford actually cared about the people that was in his community, right?
Yeah.
The problem is that these companies have to answer to somebody. And you know what they're not afraid of me as an employee or as a citizen saying, sir, I don't like the way that the company is running because my water right there is green now and it was blue. They are afraid of motherfucking rich guys like John Henry pulling around and says, hey man, I own 7% of your stock. What the fuck are you doing with my shit? Go ahead and fix that, please. Like
But
they
there's
are
so much
not
nepotism.
they don't have a fiduciary responsibility to the people that they are selling shit. They have like a responsibility to the shareholders and the people that are kind of regulating them. And you know what's the fuck the part is? The people that are regulating them are literally in cahoots with them and they go to the same motherfucking restaurants, the same meetings. You can literally, like, what was the agency? Moody's and all those companies that gave AAA rating and all that shit. They were giving AAA rating to the nastiest loans and nobody would like actually see what is below that. So
Which is what Obama cut out with Dodd-Frank and a few things. that he put in place.
but you know what's funny? They are saying that in 2025 you have like 13 times more toxic assets in the market than you had back then. And they instead of they just repurpose that shit, they call it a different type of name and says, you know what? Here we go again. And now we are on the same place, waiting for the economic crash so I can make $1 billion doing YouTube because everybody's at home watching me saying some dumb shit. So get the wave or get out of the way. I'm going to read the super chats real quick and then we.
Do you want me and Tom to answer the question?
Absolutely, John. It's me that is not a good host. Not you and John. Not you and Tom. You yourself.
I don't think, but okay. Well, did Tom already answer the question? Because the first person that they asked was Sean.
You're talking about the question that we have in the bottom, right?
Yes. Sean was the only person who's answered the question scrolling at the bottom.
Yes, please go ahead. It's my bad. It's been a long day. I apologize. Go ahead,
no
Tom, John, and I think Tina already answered that too. Go ahead, Tom and John.
About food stamps?
What was the question again?
Scrolling at the bottom, does the government owe support?
Does the government is literally rolling in the bottom? Okay. Does the government?
Oh yeah,
I
kind of addressed this earlier. I don't even like the phrasing of like the government giving you money or anything like that. Like it is your money. They're not giving you anything. It's just yours. Like we live in a democracy because these are our representatives. They work for us. This is our fucking money, not theirs. They're not giving us anything. We are just getting back what it is that we've put into a system, just the same as if I put money into an IRA or a retirement fund or anything like this. Like that is my money and I'm putting it there for specific times or a specific circumstance. And so when it comes time, that is my money and I need it. And currently Trump tried to make a way to take that money away from people to try to leverage the American people suffering against Democrats so that he can try to get them to sign a bill so that they can raise everybody's premiums and take away even more health care from more Americans and
Medicare,
make even
Medicaid.
more people suffer. So, yeah.
So I think we're on a general consensus. I'll say the same thing, but I'll go more so that if you have someone who's not only put into it but done military service, which like I have done, that there is no conversation about what is owed. I know you don't like the word, Tom, but I get what you're saying. I get the sentiment. Does the government owe a citizen support? No. If you get up, go to work, you work for 30 years as it used to be, and you get the watch at the end of the day, you put all that time in, you should get back what you put in. There's no if, ands, or buts about that. More so, if you have someone who's doing the actual civic duty, which a lot of people shirk nowadays, which is not at least the simplest thing, just voting. These type of things, whether you vote red or vote blue, that is a civic duty that shows that if you're going to support the government needs to support you when they give it back in the earnings, if you are the one who's going to go to work. Now, again, speaking from the standpoint of being in the military, not most folks can do this, but I was retired by 40. Again, that was my first job for doing 20 years in the military, full benefits, medical, dental, education. Again, I've got my bachelor's, master's that the military paid for with my tuition assistance. I'm now going through and working on my doctorates. It's taking about 3 years to finish. But the thing is that is what you get from the support. Now, like Athena, I will say this. I went to actually a private school, which is the Department of Defense Dependent Schools, which is DODS. And I had some time to come out, go to public school, and see what it was like with public kids. And it's a totally different, wild environment altogether. However, that still does not mean that even though I graduated from a Department of Defense school, which is a private school, that does not take away the merit that public school systems have. So when I look at that, even for someone who goes to a public school, they go to college, they work there 30 or 40 years and they finish, as long as they've been something positive, or more or less as long as they worked, they should get back what they put into it, regardless of where you come from. That's the whole sentiment. Regardless of where you've gone to school, if you work and you've done something and you put into what the country asked you for, remember Schoolhouse Rock, we the people, in order to form a perfect union, where they taught us these things. That's what's missing. That was America, where we had folks who were being taught to be citizens. Well, we don't have that anymore. Now that's where I land my plane.
I think your kids should definitely pay by your sins. If you are poor and George W. Bush Jr. Has more money because his dad is rich, but I think he should work at McDonald's while he gets Duke. I really believe. I think the economic system is great when people that say pull yourself by the bootstraps, they literally say, if my dad is rich, I should have that thing and you shouldn't, which is kind of interesting.
That is just ridiculous.
I'll just, once again, is the land of the free. We're going to talk about it again first.
Has everyone addressed that? Because I actually didn't address the question.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Tom didn't do it too.
Oh, okay. No, Tom can go.
Tom already addressed it. He went before me.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. It's almost 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
yeah.
it's not that. Is that yesterday we had the studio thing show, and now is like my hour already changed, but your hour didn't. So because we're closer, this is a little bit of a transition day. The hour is going to change tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we changed tomorrow.
Thank God, because I can do this a lot.
I fucking hate it. I'm not happy about it.
Go ahead, the teen, and then I'll read the chat.
So I do agree with Tom Foolery on this one. It's our money. We're getting taxed to death. Like, it's ridiculous how much we're getting taxed. It is our money, and I don't like. This is the reason why I'm so against big government. But as far as people getting back, I don't know if we've gotten into the food stamp thing yet. Are we not talking about that yet?
We went over it before
we talked about this in the beginning before you got here, but you can touch that if you want to. It's fine.
Okay, so I was hoping
we were going to get into the government shutdown at some point, since that was the kind of causal thing, but we never did.
We lost a little bit of gas. Hey, Tom, we lost a little bit of gas when you were telling the big titty older woman, no, fatty, stop, don't do that, fat. No, I'm just fucking with you.
You
Go ahead.
know, that's what it was she was saying. And then afterwards, you're like, Tom, but this total other thing that I didn't even mention yet
Tom,
is
can
what
you
really what
leave
I was
her
saying.
alone, please, please, fatty, don't do that to her. Go ahead, Tita. You can actually can touch on both of them.
So I'm not against food stamps. I understand that there are people who manipulate it and they should make it harder for people to do that. But I'm not against food stamps. I actually think with all the bailouts and all of that, there's so much money, so much more money going into that. I think that food stamps is like such a small issue in comparison. But I will also say that I do agree that certain things should not be able to be purchased with food stamps. I think healthy food should be able to be purchased with food stamps, not junk food. And then the other thing is, churches, I don't think enough churches are doing enough in their communities to help out these people. They get these big tax breaks, but you look at these mega churches, it's disgusting what they're doing. Absolutely disgusting what they're doing. I think that churches need to be more involved in the community, not just giving food, but like helping people with jobs and helping people get up on pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. Again, community.
I want to be clear, it's not a mega church thing. I've been to mega churches that do they are helping everybody. They've got houses on their properties that they allow tons of people to stay in. They are always doing food kitchens and drives and, they are always helping people, always bringing people in, always having missionary stay, always have volunteering. They talk all the time about the fact that you can't just give money. You have to give time as well. They are every church that I've ever been in my area and the churches that my family's pastored and everything, they have always done this. So there are mega churches that are very good about making sure that they split the right money in a proportionate way, but not all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And those ones I have a big issue with, especially because they claim to be Christian, and that's a sore subject for me.
Christians shouldn't be making no money. They should live like Jesus did.
Right.
We should all be in the
Y'all
streets
should have
poor.
2 tunicas and 2 pairs of sandals and go about your business. I want
Lord.
One robe, no soap.
Jesus worked, bro. He was a carpenter. Okay,
He was a carpenter.
He didn't
but
work
that's
for
the thing.
free.
And
He didn't
friend,
work for free.
What did they say about the camel and is very like the camel is you're going to go to heaven is like what is the thing that you put the line on?
No, that's not what it is. The eye was actually the entrance to a city. The entrance to a city. So it's easier for it's easier for a rich man to enter the eye, meaning the entrance of a city,
than it is for a poor man to enter.
but not a needle like that you sew with.
No,
the definition from the translation was actually the entrance to a city because they had it was only so tall that you could get into the city. So wealthy people, they would have to tear down the entrance in order for them to enter in. That was why. But still the same concept.
It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man.
That's not a correct translation, but it still applies. That's fine. I'm not going to argue with that. I get what y'all are saying, but that's not the translation.
Actually, the eye of Ra, the sun guy, because Jesus never existed. All right, the eye of the sun guy is what Ra.
If Jesus didn't exist, then none of the other people did, because there is more proof that Jesus existed than a lot of these other people in history.
My boy,
no one in the Bible ever existed.
Kind of. When you say proof, you're talking about eyewitness testimony that we can't even verify whether or not these eyes ever existed in the first place.
Pat, I didn't mean to interject.
We do know a lot of those eyes existed hundreds of years after Jesus supposedly died. So it like when we say proof, we're saying there's very loose evidence. There is a lot of it. I think he existed, but yeah.
This is another thing where I go back to you either right or you correct. And the belief in Jesus is, again, a moral perspective. The answer is correct. There's nothing that can be proven, but I'll leave it there,
I
Patty.
don't know who is right or who is
And
correct.
Julius
I
Caesar
still
didn't
believe that
exist.
y'all
and-
should believe like your boy Jesus. Go get me a motherfucker. Go get me my motherfucking table and be quiet. You go ahead and do your share.
Well, you know,
I'll
like
be
even
out.
in the Bible, there's 2 books that talk about when Jesus was born and who was king at the time, and they name 2 different kings that existed like 200 years apart from one another. So one of them's right, one of them's wrong, and
Jesus
they
supposedly had 2 different grandfathers in the Bible that
and
are
it's
extinct.
both in the
It was
Bible.
wrong as hell.
Latina, can I read the passage from the Bible to you? My favorite passage.
Okay.
If Jesus can't save these hoes, why are
That's the
you
safe-
trying?
that's the safe bet,
What
baby,
make
right?
you think you greater than
Would
Jesus?
Jesus be on food stamps?
Why is it Fatty? Why it's not muting us while it's playing the
No,
the
it's
thing?
only
Well, it
it's only-
muted me.
No, it's only John. John is the only one. Like John likes to power through the videos. Like, like every time I play
What
the
is
video,
he-
John is like, mic check, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Oh, he's working. Okay, I got it.
Wait, but it mutes the rest of us. Why isn't
No,
it muting
hey,
him?
John, let's do it again. I'm going to play a video right now. Let's see if he mutes.
Brother.
Did he
They
talk?
muted
John,
me.
you got muted now. That's crazy.
He muted him this time?
Shout out, but
Weird.
John was like 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Yeah, I'm
Ow.
still muted.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Buckle up, everyone. It's time for some super chats.
And
Put me
friends,
down that AI stuff, Patty.
that was not that's player 1. Shout out to my boy player 1. I just
Player
want to
one.
make sure. I just want to make sure, friends. I'm kind of semi done with the refurbishing and all those things that I'm doing now. We go back to content, friends. So make sure.
Looks
And
good.
Tom, I already told you I want to be invited more, John. Tom.
Wait, hold on. Just to be clear. Okay, so last time I was a little confused because you said invited more. I've done like 3 panels in the past 2 years, and they
Yeah,
were
yeah, I
all
know.
on one day about a
I know.
month ago. So
I know. I'm just-
like when you say invited, like, are you saying like I should hook you up with other panels?
No.
Or are you saying my panels?
So this is what is happening, right? I like to guilt trip people. Right? Yesterday,
Yeah,
I delayed.
I'm a
my
sociopath. I don't.
Yesterday,
feel
I
guilt.
delayed my studio debut like 7 hours. Like I put it on 3, and then on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I said, Ali, why didn't you pull up to my studio debut? Because I like to guilt trip people, even though I was the one delaying my shit 7 hours. So I'm just planting the seed, Tom. I'm just planting the seed. And then when I get rich and famous, I say, see, this is why you can talk with Tom, because he never invite me to his panels, even though he doesn't
Well,
do
this
it.
is so. Look, I've mentioned this to you before, and I've mentioned this to a number of other people. Is that I have an issue where I have tons and tons. Like the debate space is flooded with lefty content creators. It is like 95% lefty content creators
Where do you get
who
that
want to
from?
debate, and then it's Andrew Wilson and Rob Noor, and then that's it.
Great.
And
Yeah,
so
but
I
you know-
like when I
so
do
Tom,
debates, once I try to like do a bunch of debates, I have Andrew Wilson on one, I got Rob Noor on another one. Okay, now
no,
what am
it's
I gonna
fine.
do? Just
But
keep
that's my thing, right, Tom?
recycling them on every fucking panel?
So this is
Yeah,
one
you get
thing
a
that you
different
actually
screen, man.
this is one thing that you actually don't know about us, or me at least, but I think Sean and Tony will be connected to that. I don't fuck with the Democrats like that. Like the corporate Democrats and all these like I don't know, like I'm
Yeah,
actually
because
more-
you're kind of a fucking soy ass leftist.
But
so
that's
you,
my point. I
you
am
say the
actually more.
stupid
I am
fucking-
actually. I
you
have
got the
more
stupid buyback, stock
I have
buyback
more
talking
problems
points that you
with
don't
these.
understand.
I have more problems with the corporation Democrat and with these Republican light Bidenites, right? Than I have with Republicans, because Republicans, I know exactly what they are about. Like all these people on the Democratic
Neocon.
side that kind
Or
of are
ne-
lefty.
neolibs.
They are lefty on social issues, but then when it comes to hard-earned money, motherfuckers working for the same people that the other side are.
We're smart.
Those are the ones that I want to talk to. So I'm lefty, but I'm not like y'all. Y'all over there,
And I'll definitely throw rocks at y'all. Motherfucking as soon as I
He's a
can.
centralized. He's a centralized Democrat. He sits in the middle. Is that what you're saying, Fatty?
Ooh, nah, I am an extremist. Me and Atina are communists. Let's go, Atina. Me and you, Atina.
No, I am so far right. I'm
said-
probably on watch list. I'm not even kidding.
Atina said, "Can
Not
we
you
please-"
should be with this PragerU shit.
Atina said, "Can we
PragerU
please?"
Proudly.
Atina said, "Can we please put these executives on the gulag, please? They're getting too much."
They're greedy. They're bad people. Bad people are bad people, period.
She's a true communist. She doesn't.
I am not a communist.
She doesn't believe in you getting the much money you get. Stephen Curry, LeBron James, you're going to jail for getting too much money. But Maynard, $5. He says the average weight of a woman on EBT is 210 pounds. The program is running more people's lives than is LD. So just because you eat doesn't mean that the food is nutritious. you kind of if you actually watch poor people eating, you would understand exactly why they are fat. It's not because they are eating the shit that they eat is bad. So just because I give you $5 doesn't mean that you are going to get a burger from the
They eat a lot of starchy food because protein costs money, so therefore it's a lot of starch.
Absolutely. There's a lot of like conservatives and shit.
That's the poor man's food is starches. Yep.
Absolutely. But hey, shout out to everybody on EBD that is obese. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, brother. Great Dane in the building says tomfoolery is what the
conservative people don't know how to spell. He's trying to say punk ass simp.
Yeah, hey sir, you had $2 and 50 characters. You could put like some punctuation or something over there. But you say tomfoolery punk.
You need a fucking liberal to come and translate the layman.
My boy.
Sometimes you send things and it happens. Your phone, you know.
It happens, friend. Just corrected with more $2. Luan can't stop, won't stop with a 20 untouchable membership. Thank you very much, Luan. Thank you, Lou. Always on the back. Lou is going to start streaming very soon, so love to have you here. Jeffrey Rice in the building. He became a untouchable member.
The Untouchable Empire, baby.
Thank you very much. We have Avron with $5 California dollars. He says Dodgers gonna eat Blue Jay dust to run to supremacy. Boy, aren't you guys doing Ekashek to the best player on the team? Like, are you guys like literally kind of cheating? Not cheating, but like, remember when people used to do Ekashek because they couldn't stop him? I think the Blue Jays are doing that shit to the Asian dude. So shout out to the Blue Jays for playing dirty. King Slim in the building. He says they took away all the jobs. Black man did. Salute to you. I appreciate you. We have my boy Caping Caveman. He says Illa on that foolery. L-O. Salute to you. We have Caping Caveman back again. He says keep cooking, Illa. Let's go. I appreciate you, and friends. I have to go to the restroom, so I'm going to read this pretty fast. King Slim, $5. Tom didn't realize he's having a different convo. Black people have a different lens to see from. That's why it seems like he doesn't understand.
No, I was the one who kept
it's your fault, John.
over and over.
Tom.
We're having a different conversation. It was them saying, Tom, listen, the reason that the sky is blue is because there's these trees
Tom,
that are
I have to
growing
go
up
to the
that are
restroom. Stop
like
being
with
white.
green leaves. Yeah, I got you. They say the trees are growing up that they're so green, and then there's all these dandelions that are growing up that are yellow, and then they mix together, and over time they start to turn the sky blue. And I'm like, wait, no. Okay, trees and dandelions have nothing to do with why the sky is blue. And they go, oh my goodness, I can't believe you don't think the sky is blue, Tom. Why don't you think the sky is blue? And I'm like, wait,
that's that compilation that I was talking about before. And like even when he said that cell phones caused cell phones do not do anything at
yes,
all.
they do.
know there is no discernible
Oh
study.
my
And
They don't cause
goodness.
cancer.
I
They
say
can
that
cause headaches.
again
They can
because
cause
of the
problems.
fact.
They don't cause cancer,
Research.
which is what he said.
Plus, I'm a researcher on this, Athena. This is
Over
one of the things that I
long
do.
periods of time.
There is nothing discernible about radiation from a phone. All right, so that was again.
There is what they've
all
said
the
is that there is a possibility that it could cause cancer over long periods of time, but they don't know because they've never had somebody strap 5 cell phones to their head and walk around with it for 100 years at a time to find out. So that's the only way we'll ever know.
Oh God.
That's
But
not.
yeah, that is so
Anywho.
they're making these claims to say this is why X, and I'm saying, but that's not why. You're correct on X. That is a thing, but that's not why. That is not the problem. That is not what's causal. And so I kept arguing with them on the causal claims, and then they would say, "Oh, so you don't think that's happening?" No, I never said that's not happening. I'm saying you're wrong.
For how you gonna recount what happened today, telling somebody else we were here, John. We were here, Tom.
We were, but
while you were, yes, I'm giving a fucking I'm replying to the super chat, right?
Say, honey,
First
honey,
off,
let me tell you what
no,
happened, honey. Let me tell you what these guys.
You wash your hands.
Yes, that's why.
I don't think you washed your hands. That was
That's
not.
why-
You did not wash your hands for 30 seconds. You didn't say
That's why-
"Happy birthday to you."
No,
You didn't do that.
I just had to come
Yes,
running
yes.
because I wanted to stop Tom from being white.
You just use the pants strap instead of.
I just had to run to the camera. Stop being white, Tom. You don't understand. Mr. E said, with one untouchable membership.
The
Thank you very much,
Untouchable
Mr.
Empire,
said.
baby.
I hope you and the family are good and finally striking a reach from the United Kingdom with the British pounds. He says, Tom is too focused on being white, but does not. Tom is too focused on content, but does not have the holistic intelligence to understand context. Now I understand why he's called Tom Fool.
Yeah, if I wasn't tomfoolery and I wasn't focused on content, I wouldn't be talking to you guys.
So we're glad that you are focusing on content, Tom. We appreciate that. And finally, Pink Panther with a $2 says,
Yeah,
great debate
also
tonight.
it's holistic with a W at the beginning, but
No, wait, it's not the whole.
I'll explain it later.
Like wall. Thank you very much, Pink Panthers. It's a great debate tonight. I understood both sides. So once again, friends, if you are a baby mom on child support, I'm actually glad that this didn't evolve into a baby mama batching session, to be honest.
I was ready for that, and it didn't go there.
Too easy. It's low-hanging fruit. That conversation been had.
Love baby mamas, Athena. I love them.
I was gonna say, like, I think a lot of the women who are on food stamps, they would just behave properly with their man. They wouldn't need food stamps, but you know.
Yeah, but there's the thing, right? If I can get food on my fridge for free without listening to what the men have to say, why would I bring a person that's going to eat? Why would I bring a person that is going to eat my kid Lunchables and like all the snacks and shit?
And
Because she should be cooking real food.
Athena, what about
on the microwave?
What about the fact that public assistance is mostly the whites? What can the whites do?
Oh shit! Look at this. It became racial at the end of
they're
the show.
selling things. I think they're selling their food stamps. I don't think they're even using it.
Wait. Athena, say it like this. They are selling the food stamps to the black group.
No, I'm not saying that. I don't know who they're selling it to.
You gonna throw them on your own show? You serious?
No, it's because you know what's funny? I know the people on the panel, and when it comes to racial issues, they can behave. If I had Marte on my panel, I would never say that shit. Because I know that motherfucker will carry that shit and will throw it away like to the. So I kind of actually trust the people to behave when it came to racial issues. If I had a different panel, I'll be like, no way to do that shit.
I will say that this has been well behaved the entire time, no matter how things may have got out of control a little bit. Well, let's say out of sync. This has been a well-behaved type of situation. You have to know who to mix people with.
Yeah, I was going to pull you back there for a minute, Johnny, but you ended up calming down, and I appreciate it. It was
thank you very much.
Right there.
Hey, I appreciate my brother Sean and Tony for pulling up once again. Thank you very much. Link in the description. It's getting cold. Go get your hoodie. Okay. The lovely Athena. Hey, Athena is growing on me. Huh?
Cut that off.
As a content creator.
Always well behaved. Okay, most of the time. I'm most of the time well behaved.
She's getting her claws out, but
crazy
it's like
shit.
no full. Like I'm expecting a full like Joker type of moment, like a soon. But it was after that day that you came with your cup on, like a Tina. There was a day Tina came on the super panel with the.
And you told me not to do it again, so I didn't. I
like,
respect you
hey.
enough to not do that.
She was like, "What's up, guys? Can I talk?"
So trashed.
So
Yeah, that was not good. That was not good.
Shout out to my boy John Henry in the building. Once again, the link is going to be on the description. Okay, I appreciate you, Mr. John, 1970. Thank you very much.
Old dude. Yes, got it.
I appreciate you guys. Go ahead and make sure that you subscribe to them and make sure that like John is more of a no bullshit, no nonsense type of dude. Go ahead and check his channel for more factual information. Okay. And finally, Ilkan probably trick or treat motherfucker ass kids. So you know this motherfucker just walking around dressed as Spider-Man or something like that.
Didn't even know it was Halloween because I don't celebrate it. I forgot.
Why are you gay, Tina?
Why are you gay?
Like so you never like did like a sexy custom? You never did like the sexy nerd.
I did go as a sexy Pocahontas one.
Sexy Pocahontas.
I did, yeah.
Good call.
Hey,
Good call.
And you know it's fucked up. That's cultural appropriation. You shouldn't be doing that.
Well, my people are native South American.
Oh, you are no. Black people are the real natives. That's going to be the title for the next show.
Oh hell no! No,
Hey,
you didn't.
No.
It's
I know the white people are looking at me funny, but there's rumors out there that black people are the true natives. I don't want to give you a lot of.
Oh, I've heard that too.
Yeah, you're the true you're the true Jews as well, right?
Hey. And we was kings too when y'all were Vikings. So you better be quiet, sir. We was kings. We were the real natives. And we are the real Jewish people, and y'all not even descendants of Vikings. Like Athena, instead of saying I'm descendant of Ragnar Lodbrok, she said I'm a native too. Crazy. Like the things have changed.
No, my family is from Colombia, my mom's side, and then my dad's family is from Greece.
Yeah, so you are white. Congratulations. Congratulations for being white.
Okay.
I
don't think it's an insult to call people white, but okay.
No, it's not. No, it's not an insult. You have to actually look at it from the European point of view. When people pull up and says, "I am Irish and German," congratulations, you are white.
Okay. My Colombian family is from high up in the mountains, but okay.
Yes, like where Pablo Escobar used to live, right? Motherfucker white.
Again, only with this panel he's doing that. Only with this panel.
Majority of Colombian population is white.
I don't care.
Like
I have every color. Like my Colombian side, it's like black to white. There's blonde hair, blue eyes. There's like dark as you can get. Like it's a spectrum.
You know what? I will give you a pass if you were Argentinian. Because those motherfuckers, they came from a place that I don't want to talk about. But other than that, if you're Colombian,
talking about bailouts, Argentinians.
Oh no. But this is the thing. Tom, are Argentinians white?
What?
I don't know.
All the Argentinians I know are very fair skinned.
Yeah,
So
I need to ask the Yakubians whether or not
these are the ones mixed
they
with the
qualify.
Wait, Germans? What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, yes, after World War II.
What?
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought?
Common fact,
Not me.
No, went to South America. So
What?
there's nothing wrong with this. You didn't know?
They're nothing.
No.
Sean, am I the only one who knows?
Let's silence John for a second. He's spilling all the motherfucking beans. Germany. What the fuck is this?
Am I the only one who knows this? Robert Platinum. Make it be known. Obviously, I'm not the only one who should know this, right?
And people, time out Robert Platinum in the chat for talking too much. We are going to leave. Nino Nation is going live afterwards. Tomfoolery, I think, is going to be live all night. So go there.
Yes, and all of y'all who talk shit, you guys can all sit there not coming and debating me. I do an open debate show on my show, so I'll sit there at home crying in the corner while you're not coming over and actually challenging me and talking to me in person. And
Tom,
just do your thing as a keyboard warrior. Don't try anything dangerous.
Sammy,
Okay?
it's in the
Don't do
cellar
it.
pussy. It's in the cellar pussy. By the way, hey, Tom.
Those people. I hate those people.
Hey, Tom, can you do what
man.
you for the show says Google something like 7%.
Okay, Google, turn the lights green.
Okay.
Echo, turn the lines green.
Nice.
Shut up, silly woman.
Stop playing with me, Tom. Friends, I appreciate y'all. We're going to Nino Nation, Team Fatty, and the Untouchables. Sign it out. Peace. Tina said,